Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, MV2, Leon, Dan Lim, Kev will be on in a while, and so would Ari. Hope all you guys are well. We'll start off with Lucas Matthysse and Viktor Postol. Saturday night, Sunday morning, 6 a.m. I went to bed depressed. I woke up depressed. My football team got crushed by a rival, so I was more depressed. Leon and Chu, I don't think you guys felt like me. I think you guys felt the opposite. I'll start with you, Leon. What do you think of Viktor Postol's display? What's your thoughts on the Lucas Matthysse eye situation, and what do you think about the fight overall?
It wasn't a great fight. Well, maybe the last three or four rounds got interesting, but it was a very tentative fight at the beginning. Postol wasn't taking any chances, and I think it's more on how poor Matthysse looked throughout the whole fight rather than how good Postol was. I mean, he couldn't. Was that a big ring? It felt like a big ring, but he didn't seem to be able to cut him off at all. I don't know if that's one of the tools he's really ever had in his bag, but yeah, I was very disappointed in Matthysse. And then once he took that headbutt, he just collapsed mentally, I think.
Yeah, I think you brought up the point, the main aspect in terms of Lucas's deficiencies, Leon, which is his mental, just where his mind is. It seems like ever since the Danny fight, I see a tentative fighter in there, and he's anything but the machine. I find his nickname to be extremely ironic nowadays. I mean, even in that Molina fight, I remember watching that John Molina fight, and you watch the first 2-3 rounds of that fight, and you just kind of scratch your head. And where's the old Lucas? Where's the Lucas of old? And even in this fight, I mean, he quit, plain and simple. I'm not really one to overly criticize fighters for quitting, because I feel like a lot of times, if you feel like your well-being is on the line, then you have every right to quit as a fighter. But it's funny, you don't see that much criticism from fans of the sport as much as if another fighter had quit in the same fashion that Lucas did. And back to your point about his fighting style, where was Lucas's technique? What kind of game plan was he actually asserting in this fight? He would jab from he would jab from a distance where he wasn't going to land against Postol. He would try to throw overhand rights when he was clearly out of position, and he just felt like a bum. Honestly, he fought terribly, and I thought Postol not only outworked him, but he landed the more powerful punches in the fight too. So I don't really know where Lucas goes from here.
But I mean, there was about, what was it, round 5, 6, and a bit of 7, where he looked more like himself, and he caught Postol a couple of times.
He did, but even when he did though, Leon, I felt like the Lucas of old would have just pounced on him. Yeah, it felt like he let him recover, and I just don't know. I don't know. It just didn't seem like Lucas Matthysse in there. And I know this may sound kind of crazy, but even against Ruslan Provodnikov, I think the Lucas that fought before the Danny fight would have gotten rid of Ruslan a lot earlier. And I don't know if that's a fair thing to say, but I just feel like Lucas is. I think he's really showing not only all of the accumulation of damage he's gone through in the years, but just in terms of maybe he just never wasn't that good of a fighter to begin with. He just had a lot of power.
I feel like it's mental commitment to the sport in some ways. Because I just think old Lucas, like you said, you would have picked him to walk through Postol like he walked through Peterson. That's what I would have thought would have happened.
True, but like Postol had that range and that jab.
He did have that range, but I'm just saying. I think it's more that damage of that Danny loss seemed to crush him.
That could be maybe like that. All jokes aside, Danny took it so. But I said to Dan off air just before we started the show that I kind of want to give Lucas a pass, man, because he doesn't look like a quitter to me. Like, he's been dropped before, he's got up, he's continued to fight. Look at his eye against Danny. He continued to fight, and he was very distressed when he got hit. It was a beautiful shot that Postol hit him with, and
it was a perfect shot. But here's what I'll say, Cam, is he may not be a quitter in the sense that he just completely quits, for lack of better words, after he sustains a certain amount of damage. But what you do see from Lucas is his kind of tenacity as a fighter and his disposition as a fighter changes drastically once he gets hit with something big. And I've seen that in the Danny fight. I saw that in the Molina fight for 2-3 rounds after the beginning of the fight. And especially in this fight, it seems like he just kind of just changes as a fighter. He's so much more tentative. And it's night and day. Exactly. It's just night and day in terms of the output and just what kind of fighter he is. And he has absolutely no inside game. And that's what pissed me off, is that even though Postol is a lot taller than he is, he doesn't control distance that well. And Lucas had plenty of shots to tag Postol in the inside, and he would just let him get away with it. He wouldn't do anything about it.
But we've got to say, because Matthysse is a kind of fan favourite, we can't let him off the hook. If this was a Darrell brother, I'd be jumping all over them saying they're fucking quitters. So you've got to say, and it's difficult to, like, we're not fighters, but it looked and felt like a quit.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I don't really criticize too much for fighters quitting. I mean, I know Lucas said something along the lines of he heard something pop in his eye, right, and that he was momentarily blind. I don't know if I can really judge the truthfulness of that, but if that's how he felt, if he felt like his well-being was in danger, then he should quit. And I mean, who are we to say that he shouldn't?
No, but we can't just go. We can't give him a pass when we haven't give other people a pass we haven't let them. In the past, we haven't let those people have a pass.
No, yeah, I agree.
No, yeah. I see your point.
Let him off a hook because we like him, or some of us like him. We've got to say, quit is a quit. I mean, honestly, in the cold, when I watched that at 5 a.m, I honestly thought that's the worst quit I've ever seen.
Nah, calm down,
ever.
Liam. Calm down, Liam.
It was worse than the Ortiz quit against Maidana.
Just let me finish. That's what my gut reaction was then at that moment. I was shocked. I thought it was one of the worst. But looking back on it, I watched it again. It's not the worst quit ever, but a quit is a quit. I'm just saying, because I would love some fights to quit, and I'd jump all over them for it.
No,
so I've got to be fair.
I see your point, and you make a great point, and I find it hard to disagree. But one thing I will say is, I think when you look at a situation when someone quits, you maybe need to look at their past fights and their past performances and see, is that the type of person? Like, if Ortiz quits against Collazo, you kind of expect it, because because he's done it before. But Lucas, even though Dan's right, he shows us a bit of tentativeness when he gets hit. Like, he's not a guy that reacts well to big punches. But to me, he's never shown that kind of quitting personality. So that's why I slightly want to give him a pass. But I kind of agree with you, Leon. Like, you can't really give a pass. A quit is a quit.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got to be fair.
But like, just to sit in his shoes, if you take a shot like that, and then you go down, and then you're blind in one eye, I would quit, because I'm thinking,
I would quit, Cam. I've got quit written all over me. If you jab on me, I'd fucking quit. I'm not involved. I'm viewing this. I'm not part of so we're just here as fans, and fans say stupid shit sometimes, and we go off the deep end. But I would quit.
No, I get your point. Quit. I mean, this is on the same level as Viktor Ortiz quitting after the Josecito fight.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, people shit on Miguel Cotto for that Margarito fight for taking a knee. This is on the same level, if not worse. So, you got to give him. You can't give him a pass, like you mentioned, Leon. It's just that for me, I don't really give a shit whether fighters quit or not. All I look at it is from the end picture. I try to look at the bigger picture, and from that perspective, it's pretty disheartening for any Lucas fans out there, because I think he's done at the top level. I mean, honestly, where does his career go from here? He's 33 years old, 32 years old. Like, who does he fight?
Again, I agree, but again, like we were just talked off air, look at Golden Boy's situation. They've absolutely got a limited number of top fighters, and Lucas is one of them. He can still, even with the situation, he can still build back up, I think. I just don't know if he's really got the heart for it now, if after this reaction about the whole quitting thing, and does he really want to box again? He made decent money. He's made decent money in the past. Is it something he still wants to do?
He looked like a guy who was about to retire, didn't he? He looked like he was hugging. He didn't seem that bothered by the loss at the end, and that's cool, man. If he wants to go, he can go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't see. He could fight Herrera, but I mean that's the only kind of in-house fight they could do. But does he need to do it?
To me, it's just staggering because Lucas's ascension to the top back in 2012 or 2013 was on the Golovkin level. I feel like maybe not to the same extent because of the programming backing that Golovkin gets, but people were all over his fucking nutsack back in 2012, and look where he is now.
Because this goes to prove most boxing fans love a puncher, don't they?
Exactly, and it just seems like Lucas is one of those guys who's just a mental midget, against the top level opposition. He just can't get everything to click together like a top level fighter can. So it's tough. I feel bad for Lucas because he was a very fan friendly fight, or he was always in a fan friendly fight. But I don't think he's. I think if you put him in there against like a guy like Terence Crawford, even I think Crawford probably shuts him out.
Yeah, I think.
But Crawford would have always beat him. I think.
Fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah. I think now more worryingly is who he might lose to by stepping down a level, because it can fall away from a fighter very quickly, can't it?
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like we've talked ad nauseum about Lucas, so I think it's only fair if I ask you guys, how legit is Postol? And secondly, do you feel like this win is should be more attributed to Lucas having a poor performance or Postol just being a very solid fighter?
I think he got his tactics spot on, and he obviously thought that by frustrating Matthysse, he would get to him, and he did that in those first 4 or 5 rounds by tying him up. But I think at that weight, with that height and that reach, he's legit. I mean, whether or not he's massive at the weight, isn't he?
How does that fucker make weight?
I don't know, just like tall, skinny dude. It's weird, man. But he's got a good jab on him. But I mean, in that division, who do we say beats him?
That Crawford fight would be 50-50.
Yeah, and he would beat Broner up.
How do you think that Imam fight would play out?
He's a dark horse, because I just see with Postol we didn't know, did we? We didn't know, but now we got to say that's a good win. That's a very, very good win. So sure. I haven't seen that Imam guy. He needs his fight. So, but that's another 50-50 fight probably, or no, maybe 60-40 to Postol.
I like Imam, but he normally has to be in range to do anything, and he's not really a guy that can kind of get into range and let his shots off. He's kind of he likes to work on the back foot, especially against the ropes. I don't know if he'll be able to kind of do anything against Postol, but I don't know. I'm not high on Postol. I kind of hate Postol now. It's like
I know you do.
What I like about Postol is he had that jab out there all the time. So even if it wasn't landing, he was pushing out there. So Matthysse never felt comfortable getting into that mid-range to let off those shots, did he?
No,
so he's going to do that to a lot of those fighters, because even if it's not landing, it's just in his eyesight constantly, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Never look comfortable.
The clinching was excessive, though, man. Like, I think I'm a big fan of Jack Reese, but maybe he could have put his foot down a bit earlier. Having said that, it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, with Matthysse doing the rabbit punches. I think that's why he didn't deduct any points, to be honest, because he thought, well, you're grabbing and holding, and you're rabbit punching, so fuck it. Well, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
I think he handled it reasonably well. He was talking to them. And saying, look, you're getting rabbit punched because you're doing this. And he was in and out of the corners saying stuff, and it definitely loosened up, didn't it, in the last, from like 6, 7, 8. There wasn't as much holding.
Yeah.
But I think that was a tactic to get to him mentally, because he couldn't get into any rhythm, could he?
No.
Yeah, and I'm actually watching the 18 fight right now, and it's kind of surprising. I think Postol is a lot more fluid than he was back in the day, and I think Postol's a pretty good combination puncher too, surprisingly. So I feel like he's a solid fighter, and I think he's huge even at 147. So imagine how big he is at 140.
Yep. All right, let's try and get Chew on. I think is
give me a second, mate. I'm just having a wee party here, right? Just give me a second.
I was gonna say to you, I think maybe.
Good tune though.
Yo, you're gonna get us done for fucking YouTube copyright. But Chew, you struggling to fit?
Nah, give me a minute, mate. Let me marinate.
I think
Let me Bob Arum this.
Chew's struggling to get his headset over his head because his ego's so big at the moment.
Hey Cam, dunk on this fool.
This troll's out of control.
Yeah, Chew's taking it to another level now.
Alright, what's happening?
Chew.
That's disrespectful, Chew.
Excellent predictions last week. You know, me and Dan need to eat some crow, so... You actually said that Postol would school Matthysse. Remember that?
I even backed away from that one.
You were right. What the fuck?
I told you. And it's going to be really easy for me to come on here and brag, so I'm gonna. Nah, listen. Fanboys of Lucas. They're blind.
You were a fanboy of Lucas.
I was, but then I seen the light. Unlike Lucas, I've got two fully functioning eyes. And, you know, they call Lucas the machine. But really, if he's a machine, he's been made by Volkswagen. And Postol's jab was like a machine gun.
Matthysse is a vending machine now.
He certainly is. Lucas got Postol whipped.
We're working on that all weekend, yeah?
Couple of days, mate. Seriously, Postol dominated with his jab. Whenever Lucas got close, he grabbed him, which I'm not a particular fan of. You know, it's kind of a boring style. However, if I was going to be fighting Lucas, I would probably do the same thing. You know, he's got no real inside game for a supposed body puncher.
He's got no inside game. That's what was most shocking to me, was how many times he got in range to punch Postol, even before Postol started holding him, and he just couldn't let his shots go. He just couldn't let his hands go. And that, to me, I was like, fuck, I think this guy's going to lose this fight.
Of course, and, you know, Lucas's rabbit punching, you know, I've been a fan of Lucas in the past, I won't lie, but after the Danny fight, you know, it just kind of made me reconsider everything, and, you know, Lucas's rabbit punching was disgraceful. Everybody's moaning about fucking Postol's holding, but, you know, in the 5th round, Jack Reese warned Postol for clinching. I was like, okay, fair enough, but if you're going to warn, you need to warn Lucas for fucking rabbit punching, because I was looking at it and I was like, man, you're going to Nigel Benn this cunt.
Yeah, but was his clinching not causing the rabbit punches?
That's what Jack Reese said. He said, okay, he's rabbit punching you because he's clinching. It's like, you don't have to rabbit punch him. You know, fucking, what's the worst offence? You know, clinching or rabbit punching. One of them can fucking seriously hurt you. The other one can seriously hurt your pride. And
that's fair. But
and I'm not fucking particularly, you know, I'm not going to say that Postol's going to beat Crawford now, and I'm not going to say he's going to move up and fucking dominate that. I don't think so. I think if he fought Crawford would probably beat him. But what I will say is, he's going to be a tough match for anybody. Dominated the fight, and Lucas did quit. I don't really blame him. You know, he wasn't going to win. He hit his best punches on Postol. Postol took it like a man, kept coming. I think Matthysse just thought, fuck it, I'm not going to knock this guy out. I've lost the vast majority of the rounds, so what's the point? Get out of there.
But I disagree with that, though. If I was Lucas, I would still go for the kill, because I felt like he could have knocked Postol out, and he was pretty close to that in the 5th or 6th round, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think so. He hurt him. He hurt him bad.
But he backed off. He backed off.
Yeah, he backed off. Exactly. He had him shook. I mean, I know the first time it was towards the end of the round, so I'll give him a pass on that. But the round right after that, Lucas hit him with a huge right hand, and he just let him go.
And he dropped both his hands and staggered sideways. Old Lucas would have hit him with would have got to him with at least one other punch when he dropped his hands.
It was weird because Lucas had an excellent 6th, I think that's the one that Dan's talking about when he hit him with the big shot. He had an excellent 7th, and then something just changed. The 8th, and the headbutt obviously definitely affected, but it's just like after the 8th, 9th, 10th, it wasn't the same guy anymore.
But it's interesting. I was listening to the HBO podcast, and they were talking about that headbutt, right? And they said they were talking to their guy who takes still photos at the side of the ring, and he said he was right on the apron, right on that side when it happened, and he said that he'd never seen that a headbutt affect someone so badly. Like he said, he was gone from that moment on. I mean, that guy was sitting right by the side of the ring, so he should know, but it definitely hurt him.
Man, if fucking if Lucas was rabbit punching me, I'd be headbutting him as well. I'd be fucking elbowing him. I'd be hitting him in the balls. I'm like, you dirty cunt. You want to make it a street fight? Let's fucking do it. That's what Postol did.
Mm.
And Lucas got paid $500,000 for that fight. And then I heard that Postol got paid $19,000.
No, 19?
That's what I heard.
90.
No, I heard it was 19.
Who? Postal?
Was it, even if it's 90, that's fucking
90,
ridiculous.
yeah, it's 90. $500,000 to 90. That's
90.
what Bun said. 90, yeah.
After fucking you've paid Freddie Roach.
That's 50 gone, probably.
After you've paid your manager. After you've paid tax. How much do you think you got?
But I think he would have got some money from the rights of
Russian stuff.
Yeah, from Russia and Ukraine. So I don't think it's just the 90. They'll be getting additional money, I think.
Yeah, because the Ukrainian economy is up and running at the moment, eh? There'll be pay-per-view in every household in Kiev.
In Kiev, exactly.
Yeah, they've got a Ukrainian Eddie Hearn over there putting regular fights on pay-per-view. I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
I mean, Postol, what can you say? You have to give the guy credit. I mean, that was he's been waiting for a world title shot for a long time. And I just think for a guy who was fighting for his first... Is that the first time Lucas has fought for a world title? I don't know, but...
Nah, I mean, Danny was the first, I think.
Right. So, okay, anyway, I had the chance to win his first world title, and I just thought Postol just showed a lot more hunger, a lot more desire, and if Lucas is going to really put in performances like that, then what's the point? You're going to be... Do you want to be an opponent now? Do you want to be a gatekeeper? I was hearing on boxing scene some guy, I think it was Ruslan's manager, saying that they should have took the Ruslan match, the rematch. Well, I think he shouldn't have, because I think Ruslan ruined him. I said that last week. Everything I said last week, I'm a humble guy. Everything I said last week came true. I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff I was just trolling. But literally everything I says came true. I says Postol was going to jab and grab him and win comfortably. I says he was going to school him. It was going to look like Calzaghe and Lacey. Slight exaggeration, but yeah, he schooled him, fucking knocked him out. And I says that Ruslan fucking took the best of Lucas. And I think that's true. I didn't really see the same Lucas. Whether that's a coincidence or not, I don't know.
No, I think I've seen signs of that version of Lucas since the Danny fight. So I don't think it was Provodnikov that did that. But
no, he might have put one of the nails in the coffin, but he didn't.
Yeah, but I put Lucas in against Postol right after that Danny fight, or a fight after that. I think it's the same version of Lucas, and he loses in the same fashion. Or maybe maybe his entire run of fights after that Danny fight was just really good matchmaking. And guys who just, and the crazy thing is, even against Ab Judah, Matthysse probably lost 5 to 6 rounds of that fight. He just doesn't do well against jabbers. So, maybe that's just his destiny. Some guys are just meant to be crowd pleasing fighters who just fall short at the top level every single time.
He's just like, what's his name? The guy who passed away, had the ward fights.
Gatti.
Oh, yeah.
Gatti. He's got a gattiness about him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Although Gatti didn't mind getting hit, so that's not fair, because Lucas seems to mind getting hit.
Gatti was a fucking monster when it comes to just his punch resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it's sad. It's so sad because, like you mentioned, I was one of those Lucas nut huggers back in the day when I was a much less educated boxing fan. I was so high on him. I would show off to all my friends who was willing to lend me a ear about this Lucas Matthysse guy, the machine, La Máquina. I even bought a fucking Argentina jersey with his last name, and I used to wear that shit everywhere.
Shit.
And I wore that to the Danny fight too. So imagine how depressed I was.
Are you trolling or did you really get Argentina shirt?
I'm serious. I bought an Argentina basketball jersey and I custom stitched the Matthysse on the back.
With your own hand.
Yeah, no, I actually got my grandmother to do it, and I had to pay her about. Now that part's obviously a joke, but I did get that stitched, and I still have it somewhere back home in Los Angeles. And that I think ever since then, honestly, that Danny fight, it's just taught me that I'm never ever going to get that high on a fighter until I see them, fight the elite level guys.
Dan, I would never put that jersey in the washing machine because it would just quit. Cycle.
Yeah, it would quit, or it would just break the washing machine entirely. So it's something.
It would either destroy the washing machine.
Exactly. So the only time I wear that nowadays, I wear it inside out, or I wear a jacket over it. That's the only time I wear that jersey.
Lucas, the washing
much power
machine.
for the washing machine, man. It would just fucking short circuit.
The washing machine, Matthysse.
If you put it in the dryer, it would shrink.
2 PM versus the world, calling you Chustramus, so that's quite nice. But Danny Yankee's saying Postol versus Provo, Ukraine versus Russia. I don't know about that one. I think that'd be easy work for Postol because again, Provo was quite limited.
Easy work.
12-0.
Style wise, that's perfect for Postol.
Yeah.
Talk about a fucking bomb.
Yeah, it'd be a conflict as well, wouldn't it? Oh, has Provo training with someone else? Nota told me today that he's changed trainer. Is that true?
Who gives a fuck? I mean, if I was a wild card, I wouldn't want him back.
Yeah, I think he's training with Diaz. That nothing for something.
He's a lovable loser, isn't he? God bless him.
I mean,
I know for this camp, Postol has been training entirely with Freddie, while Marvin has been training entirely with Valoria. So
I take back what I said on Twitter then, because on Saturday night I said that Marvin does all the hard work and then Freddie jumps in and takes all the limelight on fight night. So I take that back.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Freddie Roach saying that's his best win in years. And you're probably thinking, what input did you have into that fight? Maybe guys like Dan would know better than me, but
the thing with Freddie is honestly, you guys bring up valid points, and from the outside, it looks like that's the situation, right? In terms of Marvin doing all the work. But when it comes to strategy, I mean, Marvin doesn't have that much experience. So it's still Freddie telling Marvin, this is what we want to work on in this camp. These are the key points that we really want to hone on. And maybe that doesn't mean much, but I still feel like that goes a long way. And I know a lot of people criticize Freddie for not saying things in between rounds, but honestly, to me, the fight's already done by the point you're in the fucking ring. It's great to give advice here and there in between rounds, but just because Freddie doesn't give that much advice, it doesn't mean that he's not involved in the fight. I think it's bullshit.
Most of the stuff you hear in the corner, you'd rather they said nothing than started laying.
It's just nonsense, right?
Yeah, I mean, Virgin, Hunter. I mean, that kind. You don't want to hear that shit. You've just been punched in the face. You don't want to hear someone waffling all this shit.
And I mean, I'm a big Freddie apologist, obviously, but I think Freddie's a good fighter. For the right style of fighter, I feel like Freddie's a great trainer. For the wrong style of fighter, I feel like he's a terrible trainer. I think for a guy like Rigondeaux, if you put Freddie on him, he'd be a fucking terrible trainer for him. But I think you can't deny that Freddie's really good at teaching fighters how to throw combination punches and how to fight in angles and how to throw punches off pivots. I think he does a great job at that. So.
Yeah, I think Freddie is very good if a fighter can defend already. You can't teach a guy how to defend, but if they can defend already, you can show him some wrinkles to his attacking game. And Freddie Roach is having a wee bit of a comeback here, so good on him. You got to
have a chin to be a Roach fighter, haven't you? As Amir Khan.
No, I mean just watch the way Freddie and his trainers teach mitt work. I love that style of mitt work. It's you're always punching, you're always working, you're always moving. And, to me, that's why if my guy Canelo, I would love Canelo to train with Freddie Roach. I feel like that would be an incredible combination. But
you couldn't do that to Chepo.
Exactly.
Who's going to do the barbecues?
At the barbecue either.
Exactly. It's all about the barbecue.
I tell you what, I would hate to go fucking gambling with Oscar De La Hoya and those guys at Golden Boy, because in the space of about 3 months, all their fighters could fucking end up losing, and they could end up with fucking no stable.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Canelo beats Cotto, so that's
What?
done. So it's easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy, true.
You
Yeah,
know-
but Lemieux's gonna get his ass beat.
Yeah.
I know.
Canelo's got that covered.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, Freddie Roach is having a hell of a year.
You know what? I was favouring Canelo earlier in the year when it got announced, but I'm kind of leaning towards Cotto now, just for experience.
I'm the exact opposite, man, because I wasn't favoring Cotto, but I thought it was 50-50. But the more I think about it, I feel like most, if not all, of Cotto's fight, even from 154 to 160, have been a mirage. I don't feel like he has one legitimate win in the past 2 years.
Well, that's a good point. But I think we're going off topic.
Yeah.
Bring it back with Kev. I think he's jumped on the line. You there, Kev?
Yeah, what's up, boys?
We're all good, Kev. How are you? What did you think of Matthysse, Postol, and what did you think of the whole quit situation?
The whole what? Oh, the quit situation?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not really a debate. He quit. But, it is what it is. He was getting a beat down. He was getting schooled, and he finally, when he got knocked down, he had a reason to stay down.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was surprised by the fight. It was.
Who'd you pick, Kev?
I didn't make a pick. I would have, if I had to make an official pick, I would have picked Lucas, though. I thought Postol would have gave him issues, but I still thought Lucas would have probably, hurt him enough to stop him or to, kind of get the output of Postol down.
I thought you were going to be slying and say I didn't make a pick, but if I was going to pick, I would have picked Postol.
I wonder who Mal Alpha picked.
Mal Alpha.
It's funny. Dan said Roach is good at, with the angles and everything like that. But aside from that, I think the thing that Roach is best at, because for a while now he's been pretty in the corner. Like when they show him, like he barely talks and he kind of stutters and he's not doing much. But I think his value is really in training camp and just getting guys in sick shape and making them work and throw hard punches and simulating like his fight plan and game plan in the mid work instead of just going through a dance routine and stuff like that. So I think that's where his value is, like, because guys again, and I think that guy McMillan, I don't know if he works with Postol. He's obviously got to be a big factor in getting guys in shape because Cotto looks better than ever.
Is that fitness guy?
Yeah,
big
that's the Salt brother
guy.
McMillan.
That's so.
Another thing. This is kind of off topic, but I was hearing some people criticizing Freddie for not saying much in between rounds and just saying all he does is stutter.
It's pathetic.
I mean, those guys are fucking
pathetic.
retarded. You do know that this. I mean, I'm not quite sure how much of the general populace knows the conditions of Parkinson's, but it's a very, very. It's like the definition of a degenerative disease. And the fact that he's pretty much
There's no cure, is there? No cure.
There's no fucking cure. All you can do is try to slow it down as much as possible. And for him to be in almost year 15 of Parkinson's and still training, I think that's pretty commendable.
And still having the will to get up, because that's going to kill him in the end.
Yeah, and I know guys like Naota and Ski Mask sometimes like to wish very terrible things about Freddie and stuff, but I mean, come on, man. The guy has a debilitating disease, and he's still training top level guys, and still taking body shots from top level fighters. So
I don't know if it will kill you.
What?
I love that. So he does not stutter. Of course he fucking stutters, Mark TMT. He's got fucking Parkinson's, you prick. Oh, sorry.
What? Wait, what did you say too? That it won't kill you?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Muhammad Ali. He's had it for fuck knows how long.
Yeah, but do you see him training and getting up every morning and training fighters? And
but he's like 78. He's not going to.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is that at any point during his time with Parkinson's, did you see him as active as Freddie is? Because I actually work in a field right now where I'm around the elderly a lot, so I see a lot of elderly people with Parkinson's, and these people can't even shit, for fuck's sake. you have to clean, you have to put diapers on, you have to clean their shit. And yet you have a boxing trainer who's doing mitt work with guys who can fucking crack.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty amazing.
I'll say it again. I'm very respectful for his disease. He's a fucking warrior, man, in and out of the ring. However, I mean, his success has ultimately helped him deal with that because he can afford all the best treatment, all the best drugs and shit. And that's nothing to do with anything. I just want to put that out there. The reason why it's not taken as much as an effect is ultimately due to the success he's had and what he can afford to pay for the treatment.
Yeah.
If the guys in the nursing home could afford what he could afford, they'd probably be putting up a better fight with it as well.
Yeah, maybe better, but certainly not to the extent that he is now.
It'll get him in the end, though. He's still reasonably, in the end, he's going to be in the position that Dan's talking about.
That's a bet that no one will take, Leon. You're right.
It's coming. It's going to get him.
It's going to get him, and it's gotten so much worse.
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gotten really. You could tell, like, all those all accesses or whatever, the 24/7s. Like, if you go back and watch the original ones with like De La Hoya, Mayweather, and look how like he was there and how he is now, you could see, he might be slowing it down, but it's still definitely, getting after him.
Just watch the media workout for Postol. I mean, his head is literally leaning on his shoulder, and he's doing mitt work with his head on his fucking shoulders. It's pretty sad, And I know a lot of people in the chat are kind of.
Ignore the.
No, but I just want to say
ignore him. He's a joke.
Freddie Roach does say a lot of stupid fucking things that are borderline racist. I completely, I don't deny that for 1 second. But what we're discussing, they're mutually exclusive. They're not one and the same. Yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. And yes, shout out to Michael Live Dogs 24. Freddie is definitely an asshole. And I can attest to that.
Yeah, exactly. But people are allowed to be arseholes. I'm an arsehole. It's still not. It's so easy to go. Oh, he's stuttering. It's such an easy thing to say. Why even? We know he's stuttering. Don't bring it up. It's just pointless.
It's like Roach could be a great trainer and an asshole, like Floyd could be a woman beater and a great fighter.
Exactly. And then this man wears his name proudly.
Another great
girlfriend. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Leon. Another great comparison, like Nothing for Something said. Hitler had Parkinson's too. Are you going to give him a pass? That's a great analogy. Nothing for Something. Right on point.
Okay. Shall we wrap up and move on to the undercard?
Just to finish up, I think Vic from the Boxing Voice said Lucas had a concussion, and that probably contributed to him staying down. But you could tell he was more mentally beat. Like you could see the last 2 rounds, he was getting really caught with clean shots repeatedly, and like you just saw the life come right out of him. And when he went and sat in the corner in between the last 2 rounds, like he just looked defeated, and that punch gave him a reason to be, to mail the rest of it in. I thought it was a good fight, though. It was one of my favorite fights to watch this year. Not that I've watched all of them, but
interesting.
You enjoyed that fight, Kev?
Yeah, I enjoyed it just because I liked how.
I kind of enjoyed it too.
I liked what Postol did. Like he did good, and I liked how he reacted in those. Basically, I think Matthysse. I think I only scored 2 rounds for Matthysse, in both rounds he hurt him, and I liked how Postol reacted when he was hurt. And another good thing about Roach that I like is when they asked him, he's like, "Hey, don't back up from this guy. Keep going forward." And and the guys are asking him questions like, Roach, if he goes forward, isn't that putting him in harm's way? He goes, nah, it's not. Like, most people run from shit, but when he's backing Matthysse up is when he's having effect. You don't want to box him. Back him up. And that's a great trainer right there. He go for the kill. Like, why are you sitting around here? Don't dance around and get caught. You're hitting them with everything clean. When you're aggressive, stay aggressive. It's like in football. Don't go to a prevent defense when a blitz is working all game,
Yeah, it's like kind of like how you would fight Golovkin, or how I think people should fight Golovkin. If you just try to backpedal, that just gives him more opportunities to strike. So I think that's a good point. And also, Kev, I was going to ask you, how do you think Postol does against Imam, and Crawford?
I don't know. I'm just real high on Crawford. Like, in my mind, if anybody versus Crawford in that weight realm, I'm pretty much picking Crawford. So I just think that, but it'll be weird. Crawford's usually the bigger guy, and he's going to go and fight somebody 5'11" as well. So, you know what I mean? It's going to be an adjustment for him, you know? So, I don't know. Like, Postol's in sick shape. I'm still take Crawford, but it's pretty hard to say. I would definitely probably take Postol over Imam at this point, because Imam really hasn't fought the level of competition as Postol or anybody. You know, he hasn't really fought anybody yet. So
he needs that step up fight before you can say.
Yes. Until I see what he does against, you know, look at Lucas. Lucas against guys like Mike Dallas and the level of guys Imam was fighting. Lucas was knocking these guys out in 2-3 rounds too. And when he stepped up, he wasn't, you know. So how do we know Imam's not that as well, you know? So I would, to answer your question, I'd take Crawford over Postol, and I would take Postol over Imam. And like I said before the fight, I was like, both guys on HBO would beat both guys on Showtime that were fighting at 140 in that main event.
See, Lucas, he's got a couple of tricks when he boxes. He's got a couple of tricks. He's got like a kind of poor man's pull counter that he landed on Postol in the 6th round, I think. And I thought, okay, that's his best punch, right? And if that didn't really get him out of there, then nothing would. And you saw the kind of deflation in Lucas's face, because he had that 6th round where he just, you know, he pretty much hit him wet with punches that would have got a lot of lesser guys out of there. But Postol hung tough, and then the 7th round, Postol came back into it again, and I thought the fight's over. It's just a matter of time. And as for just to follow up for what Kev says, I think Amir Aman, I don't know, I think he's got the power to trouble Postol, but not just the power, he can set up a shot, he can slip a jab, he's got the foot movement. I think that's a 50-50 fight.
Oh, Kev, is that you with your loud ass typing?
Yeah, my bad. I didn't put it on mute. I had the headphones in.
Shit. Yo, Leon, you know, I'm ditching Lucas now as my favourite Argentine, and I'm selecting, you know, Kunaka, who fought Ikiang.
Yeah.
I'm going from a power puncher to a guy with 2 knockouts out of 48 fights.
Yeah, TBE.
Yeah, man.
TBE.
Yeah, I'm picking him to beat Postol.
Oh my goodness! Talk about the freaking demise of the Argentinian fight club.
Do you guys still see that Maidana?
They don't have anyone.
That Maidana Matthysse fight ever happening now? Just because I can't really see it, because Maidana's so fat. I think if Maidana comes back, he'll probably be at 154.
Yeah, well, he is coming back 154, isn't he?
Oh, is that confirmed?
I thought that was, yeah.
I've read.
Damn,
stuff.
he's going swimming with the sharks.
Up in that deadly division.
Ishii.
He might eat both. He could eat both for Charlo brothers. It was all a favour.
Nah, that's fit to the Charlo brothers.
But can we talk about the future of boxing, though, please?
Go ahead.
Broner versus Allakhverdiev.
We've got to mention one thing. We've got.
Lim, he's in shape.
Hey, I'm gonna beat the girl out of him like Caitlyn Jenner.
We've got to mention one thing before we go about poor Chemo and how soulless he is after Mathisse's loss. Chemo's a broken man. He's done, and that is in one of the many fighters he's killed. He has killed Rose, Pacquiao, Matthysse, Angulo, Khan, Chavez Jr., Martinez, and Donaire. That is Chemo's list of murdered fighters, popular murdered fighters.
Chemo's a touch of death.
Damn, he's worse than me. I thought I was the Black Widow.
Oh no, he will leave a man soulless as soon as you look at him.
That's not including the MMA fighters either.
Oh, does he kill them as well?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
He is a touch of death, isn't he?
All right, let's move on to Braun and Dan. You want to start?
Yeah, I think. Call me crazy, man, but I feel like Broner can be a top level guy again. I think he looked amazing against Khabib.
Crazy.
Just his jab work was. No, I was gonna try. I was trying to troll for about a minute or so, but I can't burn that long. Broner this fight doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't. It's just matchmaking at its best, right? And I think this fight in a nutshell tells you why belts don't mean jack shit in boxing,
especially the WBA.
Yeah, and if Broner fights Ashley fucking Theophane in his next fight, I don't know what to say. I'm just done with this guy. I've been done with this guy's career. I think he's a fucking joke. I don't consider any of his fights as meaningful unless he fights a guy like Postol, which isn't going to happen because of the networks, and against Crawford again, which isn't going to happen because of the networks. So this guy's just he's a glorified hype job. He's stationary as fuck. He doesn't let his hands go when he should, and you put him in there against an aggressive fighter, he's not going to let his hands go. So until he actually proves that against a top level guy, he doesn't mean anything to me.
And his victories are just a resume of midgets, alcoholics, drug addicts, and bums.
And to think that this guy was once a draw, because granted he was a certified draw. He I think garnered like 5,000 or 6,000 fans at in his own hometown. Now just think about that. In Cincinnati, when there's not much to fucking do in Cincinnati. No offense to people who live in, that Ohio, Cincinnati area. But if a local guy is supposed to be as popular as he is, he should be generating at least 10,000 people in that arena, not 5,000.
And out of 5,000,
he also did a shit rating versus Porter on NBC. He did like 2.3 million. So,
and out of that 5,000, probably half of them were his kids.
You stole my joke, Leon. Fucking hell.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Sorry. Oh well. But I agree with everything Dan says. WBA fucking
in general or just about AB?
Just about AB, not in general.
All right, double R.
Just WBA for me. I need to shit on them. You can't shit on Broner for becoming a world champion again. You have to shit on the WBA because I don't know how Jose Benavidez can be the interim champ and then not get a shot at the full title. It's just fucking disgusting.
Yeah. And one more thing, Cam. Sorry to cut you off. If they didn't count Broner's dad and his children, that crowd would have been 4,000 at max. So.
And even with all the negatives, I think like Khabib's coming off a long layoff. Broner looked okay, like there was spurts, especially with the right uppercut. The step back left hook was working, and the jab was decent. The popping right hand was decent. Overall, it was good. It's just he doesn't do this against top opposition. And,
he's got talent.
Yeah. But Khabib was really poor, I thought, man. He
was basically like Old Boy Part 2. The what's his name? What? The guy that he fought the first time. Everybody's like, I want to see that guy again. The fucking guy he fought in Atlantic City. What's his name?
Oh, the white midget?
Nah, not Gavin Reese. The guy that barely beat man. DeMarco.
Oh.
It was a slow, flat-footed, plodding, taller guy who has long arms and can't throw short punches. That likes to fight on the inside but can't.
With no power.
Yeah, with nothing to worry you.
He hasn't fought for a year and a half. You can see when they got into later rounds, his output just completely went.
But he was hesitant as well. Like, as soon as you would get on the inside, he would just take a little split second to kind of, what shall I do? Shall I throw? And then in between that time, Broner would either hit him with his shot and step away. And it's like, well, you've got in a good position. Like, Paulie was, repeating it throughout the telecast. He just used the 1-2 to get into range, and then use the hook, and then another combination, when you're in range and when you're in position. But he would get in position and then kind of dither about, not knowing what to do. Broner would pick him off and then step out, and it's just like, well. And then in the later rounds, he took a beating. I heard people say they didn't like the stoppage. I didn't really mind the stoppage because both the ref and the doctor in the 10th and 11th round, in between rounds, they were saying, look, if you're taking more punishment, we're going to stop the fight. And he was taking some clean punches. I think he could have stopped it in the 11th, to be honest. He took some big punches in the 11th. So I'm fine with the stoppage. It's just, it's funny seeing Broner celebrate, like, jump onto the turnbuckle and almost fall over. That was quite amusing. But, yeah, that's my thoughts.
I'll tell you one thing that pisses me off about him. is that he makes weight this time, right? So what's he been doing for the last 18 months? Just fucking around, not taking
Been in the club.
seriously. The man is a joke. He's a fucking joke. Do you know how much of his fight I watched?
All 11 rounds?
Oh, none of the rounds. I'm not watching him anymore. I'm done. He's walking age. I'm done with him.
But you really missed out. He looked great. He looked fantastic.
He did actually.
Shit.
But he's serious now.
Yeah, come on, Leon. That's not fair. He changed his life.
He keeps talking about how he's a new man, he's serious, yet he's talking in the middle of the fight to Paulie. He's making stupid comments after the fight. Like, it's fucking guy.
Yeah, but the thing is, he found a new passion for the game with his child.
Which one?
He just needed.
It didn't happen the last four or five kids.
Yeah, no, it was the 6-1. It was the 6-1 that really spoke to him. So he's rejuvenated now. Yeah, but that would be a good fight, Broner versus Lucas, actually. People are mentioning that up in the chat. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see Broner versus Ruslan because Broner doesn't move much and they stand in the pocket. I think they would trade, and I think it'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, that would be a fun fight. And it could be done too, right? Because Ruslan is on Showtime.
I smell bullshit and a runner with Broner again. He's gone down to 140 to get this poncy little belt, and because he knows he can hang around at 140, because Al Heyman's got no fucking fighters at that weight. So he's just running. He's run from the division again.
Well, Imam's on Showtime and with Don King. He's available. I bet Broner doesn't fight him now. Yeah.
Broner would never fight Imam. Never. Because we all know Imam will beat him.
And Broner's allergic to punchers. That's going to be the case.
We have to talk more. I don't want to just, he won the fight, okay? I don't want to show him too much. And, the fight was quite entertaining and he looked decent at times, But at the same time, I've realized guys realize he pushes his punches a lot. Like the way he throws it, like he's pushing them. No, there was some decent combos. I'm not gonna lie. I like the uppercuts, but I'm not gonna lie. I can't get over him calling out Theophane. Now, that's ridiculous.
BoxRec has Theophane ranked 47th in the U.S.
I didn't even know Theophane was still fighting. I thought he gave up.
The last name fighter he fought was Cano, and he lost to him. Pablo Cesar Cano.
I thought he gave up after that. I thought he was just a sparring partner now in the Mayweather gym. I didn't know he had more fights. Has he been on TV since?
Nah, not on TV. No way.
I bet they're both friends, and I bet that's just like a kind of money fight for the both of them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. It's Broner is groveling to try and get back being friends with Floyd, and Floyd said, "Do this for me, and you're in."
It's just a hookup with Theophane. That's all it is. It's a Theophane
payday.
You say, "Oh, I went over there and I grinded and I got a title shot eventually."
He better not come back over here with his money. We don't want him. He can fucking stay over there.
He's dead to you.
Oh, he's always never involved. But, once you go TMT, you're not welcome back here.
Can I just disagree with everybody here? But
one sec, True, one sec, because Just is in the chat. It's good to see him back, but I think he's trolling. He said
he's shouting a lot as well.
Serves a payday for what? What's he done? He lost to Darren Hamilton, and then he went over to America. And what's he done since? Does Darren Hamilton deserve a title shot?
He's got a great second name.
Come on, Jazz. All we're gonna do. We're gonna get that fight. Broner's gonna make constant jokes about Ashley because apparently in America Ashley's only a girl's name, so we're gonna be constant girl jokes about him. That's all it is, and then he's gonna beat him up.
Yeah, because Adrian's not a girl's name or anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's real talk.
But Chew,
the girl's name as well.
You wanted to disagree, Chew?
Nah, you guys are shitting on Broner. I thought he looked as good as ever.
Yeah, but who was he fighting, Chew?
Who was he fighting?
Yeah, okay, he's a bum. I was picking Khabib. I won't lie. I've got to eat crow.
You picked Khabib.
You picked Khabib.
I picked Khabib. Yeah.
You killed yourself already.
Khabib's not a
fuck
bum.
off, hey. The big fight was the Lucas fight. Let's get this right. This Khabib fight, I thought Broner was shot. Right, it wasn't. He came back. as good as ever. I thought his left hook, in particular, looked fucking the business. However, they kept saying in the commentary there was a check left hook. Man, I'd love to get the definition of a check left hook, because I've always thought it was something different from a fucking left hook. I think that's just a thing that people are really trending at the moment, that every fucking good left hook that you see is a check hook. You know, a check hook is when you throw the left hook as you're turning at the same time. You know, turning the corner, putting your right foot out after you threw the left hook. You know, and anyway, that's semantics. Broner, I thought, learned the lessons for his previous fights. Every time, you know, fighters have got into a kind of habit of front to the body and then coming upstairs with a combo, like Maidana done. You know, that's the key to unlocking his role in defence, is go to the body first and then attack him upstairs. I thought Broner was kind of, you know, that was what Khabib was trying to do, but when he did throw combinations, which wasn't much, but, you know, Broner was blocking with his elbow, and it was as he was catching the body shot with his elbow, that was his trigger to throw the uppercut. His uppercut looked fantastic. You know, say what you want about Broner, but he's, you know, Ari's saying that he's pushing his shots. I actually think his technique's excellent.
I don't think he's pushing his shots, to be honest. They're quite sharp. He snaps them well.
Here's the thing, though. Like, they look good, they're flashy, they're loud. And I know you said they could have stopped it earlier if they wanted. And the way they stopped it with 30 seconds left, like, they could have stopped it in the 9th round, because every round was a replay of the round before, except the 1 and 2 rounds Broner took off. And his face was getting marked up, but dude wasn't getting hurt. He walked, like, everybody was going ooh and ah over that uppercut, but no one mentioned that right after he threw it, Broner went on his bike and ran back to the ropes as Khabib just kept walking forward. Like, Khabib never took a back step because of the punches. He was never hurt. So I guess it goes to show, like, even though he got a TKO, like, his power's not really traveling up once he's not fighting midgets. So it's like, yeah, they look hard, but there's something that either is a little slappy or there's something that's preventing full power on these punches. I mean, I don't know if he's pushing them or what, but am I wrong? But I didn't see Khabib back up once. He basically walked forward the whole time, except when he was out of energy, and he just ate shots when he sat on the ropes, and then when he got his energy back up, he would walk Broner back down.
I agree kind of to a point, but when he went back to his corner, Khabib looked fucked. You know,
his face was battered. Like, that's what I'm saying. They could have stopped it before, but just because your face is cut up and beat up doesn't mean you're hurt. Some people bruising whatever earlier. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, and I definitely agree that he didn't take a backward step. He was stupid. He stood toe to toe with a guy who could punch harder. You know, Khabib can't punch. If he could punch, he could have won. I kind of overrated his punching ability. I don't know why I thought he could punch, but he didn't. He can't. And if you can't punch against Broner, you're not going to win. You know, the punchers bring out the bitch in him. And, you know, Khabib can't punch. It was a good matchmaking decision by Al Heyman.
Yeah. It was DeMarco Part 2, except this guy was coming off an 18-month layoff instead of a good win versus the dude who always loses to everybody from the wild card, whatever his name was.
Yep.
So it's just like he got him at the right time. I didn't know much about Khabib, but he looked fucking awful. He just didn't look in shape. He didn't look sharp. And he had John David Daxon in the corner who wasn't saying shit, but you're doing good and turn on the pressure. So I think we might want to, hold up on calling him a genius like everybody's been doing the last year because of what happened with Kovalev, because it's kind of going to be the same thing with Nazim. He got all that hype for a little while, and now everybody realizes he might not be that great.
Oh, but Kev, I will say one thing. You know, when I watched the Jesse Vargas Khabib fight, which it's pretty much the only Khabib fight I can remember, he threw a lot of punches, and he didn't throw a lot of punches against Broner. And I'm guessing that's because...
He's off an 18-month layoff.
I don't know about that, man. I just think...
I do. I think Broner's faster than Vargas, so... You know what I mean? That offset. Like Molina threw a lot of punches against Lucas, but against, Broner he didn't, because he couldn't set his feet, because it'd be right in his face. And then he had to reset. So that's the thing with the plotters that are walking forward on flat, slow feet.
he was worried about what was coming back, which makes me think that maybe Broner can punch a wee bit harder than what you think he can.
I guess I just judge effect on how the guy reacts to the punches, and when they don't take a back step or ever, get their legs weak or snap their head much, I just don't think they're doing too much to the guy. It's kind of like the classic, like Cotto versus Margarito one fight. Like Cotto was landing the better looking punches, but Margarito didn't take a back step. And like Jim Lampley was like, obviously the cleaner, more effective punches are by Cotto. I'm like, how do you define effect? Because it doesn't look like Margarito's eating all these things. So I don't know what kind of effect they're having.
True.
Anything else regarding Mr. Broner? We'll move on then. Just want to talk about the undercard fights of both these cards.
Lukey just texted me and said Khabib only trained for a month for the fight for whatever reason. I don't know what that means. So a guy coming off an 18-month layoff and only had a 1-month camp, not a very good look.
That's fucking stupid. But yeah, let's move on. Anyone see the Pedraza Cherry fight?
Nah.
I tried to watch it. I'm not gonna lie, but
I watched the whole thing.
True, what you eating?
Space Raiders.
Can't go wrong with Space Raiders. Who said they watched it? Did anyone watch it?
I watched the whole fight.
What did you think? And who did you score it for? I personally think those the two 117, 111 cards in favor of Pedraza were fucking disgusting, I think.
Yeah, I didn't score the fight because I could really care less. Like, if you're a guy who can't beat Edner Cherry clear enough that you need somebody to keep score, then you're not worth shit right now. So I didn't bother to score, but it looked like a close fight. 117, 111 seemed ridiculous. I think Cherry might even won the fight because I think Pedraza got the benefit of getting early rounds scored for him because he was the named fighter and the one who should have won. And I think when not a lot was happening, they were just giving him the rounds. Whereas Cherry turned the pressure on later and started winning middle to late rounds. So I think Cherry at least won 5 rounds, maybe 6 or 7. So I didn't score like I said, but if I'm watching the fight and you saw the flow of the fight and it was an Edner Cherry fight. It wasn't a Pedraza fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it seemed to me.
I kind of disagree. I think Pedraza started off well. I think I'd give him the first 3 or 4. His output wasn't that high, but his accuracy was excellent, and he was slipping and evading a lot of Cherry's punches. After that, I think a bit of tiredness came in. He wasn't slipping as many punches. He was getting caught with jabs, getting caught with straight shots, and I think Cherry took it over. I like you. I already knew the result. These 2 cards were on at the same time. I watched the Lucas card live, so. This fight was hard to get hold of. A copy was on YouTube the next morning, but that got deleted, and then I had to find other means to get hold of it. Which is a shame because I was talking to a few people on Twitter, and it's you've got a lot of channels available in the UK. Broner is still a relatively big name, and no channel picked it up. Box Nation had the Matthysse fight, so obviously they're not going to pick up the Broner fight as well. But I'm surprised Sky didn't pick it up or any of the BT sport channels.
He was fighting nobody, so it didn't matter, did it? So
still though, I think true, but I think it's still a kind of decent card.
Well, they picked up his last fight against Porter, didn't they? Because it was a fight that people were interested in. This is a fight that no one was interested in, no one was worried about, and no one asked for.
Oh, fair enough. But just going back to the fight, yeah, I think I didn't score it, but just the eye test, just watching it, Cherry kind of took over after the 4th round, and majority of the rounds were his after that, and his output was incredible. It's just his accuracy wasn't as good as Pedraza's, but Pedraza's accuracy kind of waned off later into the fight, and he wasn't as effective. And I thought Cherry won quite clearly, and I was kind of disappointed for him, especially with those 2 scorecards being so wide. I think it was a bit of an injustice, and he should feel upset about that, because I would. I think he did an excellent performance, and Pedraza to me shouldn't be the champ now. It should be Cherry, and I think Pedraza's scheduled to fight Stephen Smith next, so Pedraza got the range, but that's a closer fight beforehand. Before I would have said that Pedraza maybe wins that easier, but now I think it's maybe a closer fight. And just give two...
I don't think much of Pedraza after watching that fight. I don't think he's got much of a... I don't know.
Well,
like I said, you got to be a little more assertive and definitive over a guy who got beat by Paulie Malignaggi 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
People improve though, Kev.
I'm sure he did improve, but in boxing, you generally don't improve as you get older, especially when you were never an A-level talent. But I just, you're right. People do improve, and sometimes it takes prospects like these tough fights to realize what they need to do and develop and get better. So it's very true. He might get better moving forward, and this fight might serve as a good point in his career, really, for him to turn it around and get better.
Yep. Anyone else, or should we move on? Move on. On the undercard of...
One sec. Jorganaga might get his first world champion then.
No,
Stephen Smith.
No, he's getting his first champ this Saturday in Manchester.
I'm not counting that shit.
What, Liam Smith?
Yeah.
What?
They paid Soto off not to fight.
That's not confirmed.
Yeah, I confirmed it.
Allegedly. No, man. Liam Smith's bringing that title back, but we'll discuss that in a while. Let's go back to the Matthysse undercard. There was a good fight. Antonio Orozco versus Humberto Soto. I scored it close fight, but I scored it for Orozco. A lot of people, including Lukey, scored it for Soto.
Everyone seemed to get really upset, didn't they?
Yeah, I think because Soto's a bit of a legend in it, so
yeah.
Didn't
But
like
it was a close fight. I've scored it very similar to you. It was a close fight, but I gave it to him by a round or two. Orozco, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He landed the better shots with more power.
No, Soto started off well, man. Like his jab and his right hand were decent, but I think the pace caught up to him, and especially like Orozco, I've said in the past, like I like watching him because he goes for the body, he digs to the body, man. He like against Emmanuel Taylor, he was whipping in that left hook. He was doing the same. I think Soto was blocking a lot of him with his elbows, but a lot of shots that were called maybe low by the ref, I didn't think they were low. Especially early in the fight. Some of the ones and the ref kept saying, "Oh, that's low, bring your punches up." I just think the ref just kind of misjudged. Having said that, Barry Jones, I think, made a point that I actually think it's Colonel Bob Sheridan. Yeah, he was doing the commentary for the Box Nation feed. That Soto does have his shots a bit lower than most people, so you maybe could count it as low.
He took a dive, though, didn't he? In one of them.
That one was definitely a dive.
Definitely a dive, trying to rob a point.
Trying to get another point.
Karma gets you.
Yeah, I said that at the time, and that was pretty obvious, I thought.
It was pretty low, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was a decent fight. Orozco's, I think he got a good win. Humberto Soto's a bit faded after that Matthysse loss, but he's coming off a few wins, so that's a good win, I think, for a guy coming up.
Solid win.
Yep. Yeah. Anyone else see it? Should we move on?
It wasn't a robbery.
No, it wasn't a robbery, I don't think.
The Twitter was going on like it was a robbery.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. A lot of people did score it for Soto, so I was quite surprised.
I think it's because people like him, so that shit happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. Alright, anyone else see it? Nope. Alright. Let's talk about the events of Friday. I came home after work, had some food, said to wifey, I'm having a nap, I'm waking up in the middle of the night to watch some boxing. Usually I think, fuck this shit, I'll just watch it tomorrow. Because Box Nation had it, so it's just recorded on my Skybox. But I just like Ovill McKenzie that much that I wanted to watch it live. Leon, I was disappointed with you. I messaged you and you didn't reply, man. You were sleeping.
I fell asleep.
Nah, man, you're slacking, Leon.
I'm an old man, aren't I?
Yeah, that's true. I scored it a draw. You kind of criticised me. I don't know if you were trolling or did you have it?
I was upset.
Are you upset? How did you score it?
Well, look. I can't be. You got to be honest. My scorecard is, you know, it's you can't take it seriously because I was always going to score it for Ovill. You know, even if he got knocked out. But no, I had him winning it by. Let me check. By a round, I think. A round or two. But I thought he boxed really well. You know, I think he made it really difficult for that guy.
Fucking Ramirez is shit, man.
Yes.
Oh, he's fucking shocking, isn't he? He was awful.
The funny thing for me is, you think Ovill was the guy that had the short notice?
Yeah. It was that guy. I mean, if you're a cruiserweight and you're anywhere close to the top 10, go after this guy because he's easy. Although he can take a shot and he can clearly punch, but he's got no skills.
Oh, you know who Eddie Hearn's looking at next? For Mr. Bellew.
Oh yeah, he's all over that, like a tramp on a chip.
Bellew beats him easily, I think. But I don't want him to be. I don't want Bellew to be a world champion. But I think if that fight gets lined up, I think Bellew wins that.
Really?
Yeah.
But can he take the dig? Because if that guy lands, it's going to hurt. Because he seems like a very, very strong guy.
Nah, I don't know, man. Like he was laboured. He was very flat-footed, and in a bit of a bigger ring, I think if. To be honest, Bellew's shit as well, but I think he's better than.
Shite, yeah.
I think he's better than Ramirez.
That Ramirez reminds me of fucking Lenny from Mice and Men.
Yeah, he's a missing link. He's a missing link.
It's just like, whoa. But did you see Ovill shadowboxing before the fight began in the ring?
Yeah.
He fell over his own left hook. I was watching that and I was like, oh man, you're going to get knocked out. Credit to him, he ran into like a 4 rounds lead, and then halfway through the fight, this Ramirez guy kind of woke up, started landing uppercuts and stuff. But I don't know, man. Obviously, Ovill gassed halfway through because his punches just became arm punches, but he was getting made to look like fucking Willie Pepin there. In the smallest ring you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
with the worst ropes ever. And do you see when he's kicking all the advertising away?
Yeah, I don't think that advertising companies were happy about that.
Like they're fighting in a shoebox.
Yeah, that ring was tiny. I think if it's a bigger ring, I think Ovill could have won that on the cards.
Yeah. Well, did you see the Argentinian TV scorecard?
No, that was terrible.
That's outrageous.
But I did like the judges' cards. I think that reflected the fight quite.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. But
and saying that, I mean, you've got to take away points from Ramirez for having no skills, no footwork. I mean, it was very close to one of the worst world title fights I've ever seen.
It was a poor fight, very poor fight.
And Ovill's, you can tell he's a light heavyweight, can't you?
Oh yeah, I think Ovill weighed in on Thursday at like 190
on the dot, right?
Yeah, and this guy weighed in at like 199, and on the night there was a massive size difference between him. And later in the rounds, when he was catching him a bit with left hooks, Ovill was kind of getting flinged to the other side of the ring a bit. I know his momentum was going in that direction anyway, but you could tell that Ramirez was a lot heavier handed. And for me, I think the issue with Ovill was, you could see from the earlier rounds, it was more about quantity than hard punches. If you look at Ovill of old, he would be digging in shots from the start, and then if the guy's still standing, Ovill would gas by then because he's fucking used all his energy in the first 6 rounds. In this fight, it seemed like he was, he wanted to have output, but not put a lot of energy into it to save it in his gas tank. And the reason this is particularly relevant to me is because if you look at the last round, because Ovill knows, there's no more rounds left, you see him start digging those shots in, which I expected him to maybe do in the early half of the fight. But tactically, I think it was a good game by Ovill and his corner and his trainer. It's just that I think a bigger ring would have helped, and maybe home advantage would definitely have helped if that rematch happens, which I don't think it will. In the UK in a bigger ring, I think Ovill will win that convincingly, but I think Benji Estevez, the ref as well, was a bit on Ovill's back a bit too much. I think as he was shifting away and went into southpaw, he was kind of flicking out the jab a bit, and he's like, "Oh, you're hitting him with the back of your glove and stuff." And Benji Estevez almost looked like he wanted to take a point. There was one point where I was thinking, he's going to take a point here soon. And I like Benji Estevez. I think he's a really good referee, but he seemed a bit biased on Friday night.
I think he was scared for his life, wasn't he?
He probably was, man, because that atmosphere on there was crazy.
It was crazy, wasn't it? For a gym, it was crazy.
That fight was on late as well. I woke up about fucking 3, and the fight didn't start until about quarter past. Was it 4?
Wow, really? That late?
Yeah, it started. Yeah, I thought it was going to be
so
early.
It's on after midnight in Argentina.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it would be on at about 10, 11 over there in their time.
That music that they were playing over there was just freaking me the fuck out, man. It was like pop hits to death metal.
But it's weird because it
death metal rehashes of pop hits. I was like, what the fuck is
going
going
on to
here,
the
man?
commentator, and then like they play music randomly, and then it was just a really weird show.
But did you think the time was out of sync because they would walk to the corner before the bell rang?
Yeah. I don't know if that's an issue with the feed though.
I think it was the feed, but it was something wasn't right.
You'd hear him stop, and then you hear the bell afterwards, wouldn't you? But yeah, shout out to Ovill though, man. Unlucky guy. He went over there, got a draw.
Can I just say that Barry Jones makes fucking Nick Holland look fucking reasonable?
Whoa.
Biased as fuck, man.
Nah, calm down. Calm
Bollocks.
down.
Don't be shitting on Jones.
No, listen, I like the stuff that he says from a technical point of view, like all the fucking weight distribution and fucking on your legs and stuff and the punch selection, but see, at one point he was going, come on, Ovill.
Yeah.
Come on, Ovill.
Yeah, because he likes Ovill, and he wanted him to win.
Yeah, that's. I'd rather that than listen to the hyperbole that comes out of Halling's ass.
Yeah, I agree.
What? They're both biased, but I mean, you've got to, when fucking... Put it this way,
he's allowed to be
Nick Holland was
biased.
saying what Barry Jones was saying, then you would be giving him a much harder time, but because you like Barry Jones, you won't give him a harder time.
Different though, it's different. He's allowed to be biased.
He's got a Welsh accent.
No. He's allowed to be biased because he's not the main. He's not the actual guy presenting it. Where Pauling is the lead commentator, so he's got to be down the line. Where Barry, the boxing expert, can do what they like.
Let's get it right. Who's that other guy that's next to Barry Jones? What's his name again?
John Rawlings.
John Rawlings.
He's boring as fuck.
He is shit. To be honest, yeah, John Rawlings is pretty shit.
Sleep every time I hear him. Whereas Nick Holland, okay, I don't agree with much of what he says, but every time he speaks, I'm like, I'm getting fucking pumped up listening to it, and that's what you want.
You're sounding like Chemo. What's going on?
Oh, you sound dreadful. Have you? Oh God.
Has Chemo paid you off,
You're taking a knock to the head.
I want adrenaline when I'm watching. I want energy. I know what I'm watching. I don't need to be told.
He's been doing it for a long time. He's not some just little toff from Southampton who's just wandered into the sport like fucking Hawling.
Holland's probably seen more boxing than all of us put together.
Fuck off.
How many live fights... I've been wanting to say this for a while. How many live fights do you think Holland's seen?
Yeah, but...
What does that prove, though? Like, the ring card girls have probably seen more fights than Hawling.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. He's seen a lot more fights than all of us. And if he's saying something,
I've seen every fight that he's seen this year.
What I'm saying is don't take what he says too seriously, because obviously he's got an agenda. He's not there to give you fucking technical breakdowns of a fight. He's there to get you pumped up watching it. He's meant to bring drama and excitement to the thing. Where he's almost like the missing part of Roland. If they both combined, they'd be the fucking perfect commentator. But he's like the missing part. I just prefer Holland. I just find that Roland guy kind of boring.
Yeah, Holling, I think Holling, just for his energy, I think he's better than Roland. But I don't like his biasness, to be honest. But yeah, we're getting off topic. Ari, did you see this fight? Or were you too busy partying over the weekend?
I didn't see it.
Alright, cool.
Hey, Cam,
I can't watch boxing on Friday. I'm out every Friday.
All right, no worries. Yes, Kevin.
You said that you don't like the bias. What boxing broadcast isn't biased?
They're all biased.
HBO is, Showtime is, PBC is. They're all biased.
That's true. Yeah, it is true. But sometimes it's good to have a neutral. I think like anything that has Richie Woodall on, he's always down the line. I think he doesn't fucking favour any company that he's working for. He always tells the truth. I think. What about you, Leon? You're a fan of Richie Woodall's commentary or analysis.
He's good analysis. He does good analysis, but I think he rides the British flag pretty hard when it comes to the big fights. They all do. Everyone does it.
Yeah,
man.
you're gonna do it.
Everyone does it. It's it is what it is. I don't like hauling. Lots of people don't like hauling. Lots of people, it doesn't really matter, does it? In the end of the day, it is what it is. As long as Steve Collins isn't doing the analysis, that's all I care about.
As long as
because I had when Wealth was getting those fights, I was like, man, I like this broadcast team, and I remember mentioning it to you guys in the chat, and you guys were like, oh, these are the guys that most people hate. I was like, shit, it was like a breath of fresh air to me to actually have energy and shit like that. Someone trying to get you excited and hyped instead of just telling random stories about random fights and shit that's not even going on in the ring.
The grass always
That's what hauling does.
The grass always seems greener on the other side, Kev.
Hauling does that.
That's what he's saying. Yeah, he likes it.
But why would you like that?
When I was watching, he was just calling every punch and he was going nuts and he was just fucking hyped up, and I was with that. I'm cool with that. That's one of the guys that Chemo's always impersonating, right?
Yeah. He loves him.
And I'm starting to warm to Ronaldo. I was listening to the Broner commentary. I don't know, he's kind of toned it down a little bit. I think sometimes he gets a wee bit too carried away, but I enjoyed his commentary last night. It was good.
That voice can't be real, though. He must be trying so hard to keep that going. That can't be his real voice.
Of course not.
That is just the worst voice. Yeah, he's horrible. Horrible.
I've said that about him in the past, but I don't know, man. There's a time and a place for him.
Yeah, the time is
getting,
never, the place is hell.
I think he's getting better. He doesn't talk as much. He's not stepping on. He's actually looking for other people to speak, which I think is better.
You know what? I just enjoyed having Showtime back on. Like Adrien Broner coming to the ring with like 20 people. That you miss that.
All the chains, the glasses.
Yep. And fucking, all the commentators giving him, going through his backstory and shit as he's coming to the ring and he's dancing to the fucking stupid hip-hop music. I mean, that's just a breath of fresh air compared to like PBC where you don't get any of that. And, even that guy who's usually on the Marv Albert, he's fucking doing that for a paycheck, he's not interested. Whereas at least with the Showtime commentators, you've got fucking Malinazi there, you've got Ronaldo, you've got fucking Bernstein. They love the sport, they're enthusiastic, they're telling you fucking everything that's happened on the build up to that fight, and it just fucking builds the anticipation up. Oh man, I actually enjoy having Showtime back. Fuck PVC. I just want to see Showtime come back on a regular basis. I think it's good for the sport.
It brought it's given us great fights, but that little prick's fucked it up, hasn't he?
See, I like
raped it.
I like Bernstein, and like even when Paulie was like, well, of course Broner always comes in shape, and even Bernstein was just like, well, not always. He's kind of gassed in the past. Like they're not. They'll like argue with each other, or they'll like stay their own thing even if it disagrees with somebody else. Whereas I don't know. It seems like Lampley or Kellerman, when they just disagree with Roy Jones, they just switch the topic or move on. And I don't know. I like Bernstein. I think Bernstein is one of the better guys in the business. The thing I hate about Showtime is whenever they show a replay, it's never of the punches that they expect. So it's like, oh, here's the big right hand, and somewhere in the middle of the round, and then they show something where like a left hook misses. It's like,
That's true. That is true.
That's true.
All right, let's move on. Talk about the Predictions League for a quick second. Top 10. Ari still in first. Me still in second. Mo in 10. No, sorry, I've gone into second now. Mo in 10's dropped into third. Bruto Deluxe in fourth. Inverness Mark in 5. Zizou in 6th. El Terrible in 7th. LaMarcus Malvo 8th. Barcelos 9th. Arizona Slim 10th. Also give the chat a quick shout. We've got Jason 268, Boxing Analyst 1, Nothing for Something, J Sweet, The A-Side, Mongo Sled, Mr. Dermo, Danny Yankee, PM Versus, Bill Bones 101, BRD Hey, Jack Hughes 16, Jas, good to see Jas back, Kevlar, Supermaster, Marky Mark TMT, Pinhead 360, Shams 1000, Low Country, Nunez 83, Lucan, Court Music, The Compa, Michael Live Dogs 24, Dean Scores, my boy Scorsese, Nick G, Tico, Bobby G, Wasif 1, American 7, Foot, and 21 guests. Ari, you've been sitting there being a bit quiet. Let's talk about some news. Your boy De Gale's next fight has been announced. What do you think of his opponent, and what do you think about him travelling overseas again?
Well, I think it's a decent first offence. You know, it's better than the unknown bum. I'm not gonna act like it's the best opponent, but you know, it's better than I expected. You were making jokes about Porky Medina, like that. You know, but you know, Bute, former champ, of course, he has been looking shot since he got cobraed. But you know, the girl go over there and beat him up in his own town. What do you say, Leon?
I don't know. I'm just saying he's Bute is just, he's another guy who never fought anyone and then got to fight a decent fighter and lost straight away, didn't he? So it's a good pick for De Gale.
I think that's a really good first defence. I agree with Ari, man. I think going overseas as well.
Yeah, it's a good first defence.
It's a good defense, but it also shows you, like, if you can't beat Bute, you know, you might not have a long reign ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly.
He should win.
Tell us stuff, and he's going over there. You know, Bute, I'm sure for the title shot, Bute wouldn't mind coming over here, but I guess the girls making more money going to Canada.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not a good defence. That's not a good defence.
Why not?
Canada's usually a good draw, though.
Go on, True.
That's the ghost of Bute.
We didn't want to say it.
Well, fucking that's Cal Frotzy's boy. Why does De Gale want to go there? What's that gonna do for you?
I think I agree
It's
with.
a no name.
It's a name. I think the money's better, like Ari said, because there's no point finding nobody in London when you're going to get paid well, you're going to get good exposure in North America. And I actually think it is a good first defence. You know, Bute, he is the ghost of himself, and he did get cobraed, but he's still a good name, still a decent opposition. I think boiling down to 168 is going to be an issue because he's not fought at that weight for a while, so... I know his last fight was at a catch weight, and I think was the Pascal fight at light heavy. It was, wasn't it? So,
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The last one was 170, I think.
Yeah, so I think that might be an issue, taking those extra 2 pounds off. But I think that would be a competitive fight, you know.
No, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves now. The girl's knocking him out in size 6.
I think he'd be in a bit.
Competitive.
Yeah, I'm backing. I'm backing Bute to knock the get now, Joe. Now I think it'd be competitive. I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think. You know.
Yeah, why is Eddie Hearn really promoting this fight?
No,
it's
Heyman.
It's Heyman.
It's just Hearn's going to have it on Sky. That's the only part of Hearn anymore. It's just that it's on Sky. That's it. Of course, Hearn will be over there acting like he's the promoter, but...
Any idea if this is going to be pay-per-view in Canada? Because I know a lot of their fights are pay-per-view.
They all are.
I think every time Bute fights is on pay-per-view.
Fuck, man. Imagine paying money.
Canada's weird.
Imagine
I
paying
don't know-
money
I
to
don't-
watch fucking Bute, man. Fuck that shit.
Like even when normal fights like Pascal's on HBO, in Canada they have to pay for it. Even if they have HBO, their version of HBO wouldn't show it.
Right,
Even though
when
even though they usually copy, the direct feed, and it's always the same stuff. Because I've been to Canada and I know that because I remember I was watching American TV over there. But as soon as like HBO has a Canadian fighter, the channel changes and they have to pay, and it's on a pay-per-view channel instead.
Yeah, like that mug. Sam Watson was sitting in the crowd, wasn't he, with a T-shirt saying "Free Boxing for All" on that. And when he was on NBC, was he on NBC Sport in America, Bute, in his last fight? But in Canada, they were all paying for it, and he's sitting there in a T-shirt, "Free Boxing for All," and every fucker's paying for it over there.
I don't know what it is about Canada that
They pay for every fight.
they get lost.
Shit, man. You sure that Eddie Hearn doesn't work for those TV networks?
Hearn would love it over there.
Yeah, $60 for fighting a bum. Done.
Anyone else got any thoughts on this fight?
He better beat him.
I think it'll be a fun scrap, and it's always a good atmosphere over there in Canada. It comes across good on TV usually.
Yeah, the crowd come out for Bute. He has a loyal following over there.
Bute, Pascal, crowds come out, period, for those guys.
Yep.
They're going to slip this onto the same night as Fury Klitschko, isn't it?
That's a bit shit, though.
Yeah.
Going to slip that on the end. Pay-per-view.
Oh,
Boxing as usual, they put on fights on the same weekend and have 3 weekends with nothing. Shit.
yeah. Well, it looks like we're the new Canada then, isn't it? But we were just shitting on Canada for having this pay-per-view. Well, because it might be on pay-per-view over here.
It'll be pay-per-view for the Fury thing, and then you get that as a free bonus. At 3 in the morning.
They'll say, "Oh, look, I
Yeah.
get to watch the girl later." No, I'm not paying for it. You know me already. I'm streaming it. I don't care if it's the girl. I'm streaming it. I'm not.
What do you guys think about
that Brook card still pay-per-view, by the way?
I don't know. I'm hearing things that it's not pay-per-view, so I'm not 100% sure.
It's pay-per-view.
I
don't know. I think
the backlash got to him.
It could have.
I don't know how they. The Fury Klitschko might not even be pay-per-view anymore because unless they decided Joshua White won't be pay-per-view, because that means they'll have 2 pay-per-views in 2 weeks, or like in the space of 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe they'll give us Vlad Fury for free because they're backing.
That would be ridiculous if the world title's the one that's not the pay-per-view.
Maybe they'll do some weird deal where you have to pay. You pay once and you get both fights in 2 different months as pay-per-view.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
I've heard the Fury Klitschko fight could be back on ITV, which for people who don't know is terrestrial television.
Where did you hear that?
Sky backing out.
I was on Twitter. I seen that on Twitter.
Some random guys tweeted it and then you just took it.
No.
Because maybe Sky didn't want to give them. Sky didn't want to give them the pay-per-view date. Apparently, that was why it was initially thought they might have to wait until like February. But I guess Klitschko has said we're not waiting, and the fight's November because the injury's not serious. It's just that he apparently he just had a little setback and he wants to be fully fit.
Yo, if that's on ITV, that is awesome. That'd be like 10 million people watching that fight.
I've just retweeted.
And that'll mean we'll have Woodall.
Exactly, Woodhull commentating as well.
I'll take Wood over Halling any day.
No, seriously though, if that's ITV, that's awesome. That'd be amazing.
I don't believe it though.
Look,
I'm not getting my hopes up.
Like fucking Tyson was getting like 3, 4, 5 million on Channel 5 fighting, lower class opposition. So against fucking Klitschko, man, he's gonna get some silly figures.
That would be a really good business move.
Yo, that'd be awesome.
You'd be making a loss a wee bit financially, possibly, but I think in terms of like your potential fan base, you could really expand that by putting it on free TV. So good on Fury and his team if they do go with that. But I doubt it. Like Jason says in the chat, it seems too good to be true.
That's true. Yeah. We'll wait and see. Let's move on. You guys seen any stuff in the news that you want to discuss? Or been a bit of a quiet week news-wise.
Has that fighter been confirmed for Eubank Jr.? That shocking, the guy that we heard about.
Undercard Brookcard?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to
It's
be
not on
honest.
BoxRec. I haven't know if it's been confirmed or not yet. That's not good look.
You talking about Derek Jeter's younger brother?
Yeah. That can't be good. They need to come out with a better fighter than that.
Still TBA on BoxRec, so
Yeah.
that card's
No, it's
fucking
basically
horrible.
confirmed. Because I heard on Twitter, Hearn said something. I can't remember. I think someone was shitting on Hearn because Hearn was saying he'll be a top 15 opponent. A guy must have said he's 100 and something in BoxRec, and then Hearn screenshotted showing that this Jeter guy is like ranked 15 in one of the ratings. One of them.
Oh, right, okay. So
Yeah. One sec. Let me quickly. Yeah, WBO. He's number 15 WBO. So like, as if to say, yeah, he is top 15. But
bullshit.
Who is this guy? I haven't even checked his record. Let me just quickly check his record.
I checked his record. It's not looking good. There's no real record to talk of.
He won't get a tough fight.
Knocked out in 2 rounds versus Patrick Nelson. Jesus.
And that's the guy who the brother Chudanoff beat.
Yep. This guy's been knocked out by a guy with a record of 10-11.
Fuck me, man.
It's not good, is it?
He really needs.
Eddie Hearn.
Give him a soft one.
Yeah.
Give him a soft
English
one.
pulling tricks.
Give him a soft one so he's making shockwaves. I'm done. I'm nearly done with Sky boxing as a whole. I just realized that I just can't do this shit no more.
You glassed?
Yep.
I think you need to be more optimistic, man. I think it's gonna turn the corner.
I can only see it getting worse.
The Canelo fight will be good.
Yeah, but I said Sky boxing. I didn't say
Sky
boxing. I said Sky boxing. It's just like Jazz just said. All the good fights will going to be a pay-per-view. If this Joshua fight really is pay-per-view, then do you really see Joshua coming back to normal TV?
No, never again.
Exactly. It'll be like Khan back in the day, where every Khan fight was a pay-per-view. But now it's not Khan. It's Joshua. That's what they're trying to do with Brook as well. The way you can see he's still forcing this Brook pay-per-view is obvious. That's the only way you can hold on to Brook. If Brook's not pay-per-view and he's not making pay-per-view kind of money, Heyman will sweep him up quick.
You know what, man? I've got to be honest with you. I need to say this, right? All the guys who are saying, it's on pay-per-view, it's on pay-per-view. It's not just you, Harry. It's not just you, Leon. It's other people on Twitter, etc. Just stream it.
I'm gonna stream it.
No, but it's not as... No.
That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
No.
Stream it. This is like a fake outrage.
No.
No. Cam, let me go.
No, let me go.
No, Cam, let me go.
Go on.
It's not a fake
No,
outrage.
let me go.
It's a matter of principles.
It's about principles, and it's also about the Sky Bill.
Spending the money.
It's also about the Sky Bill. Yeah, the Sky Bill's high. I thought I was getting sports during my package. I thought I was getting boxing.
Well,
That last Sky card, I don't want to fucking hell. I don't want to. That last Sky card was shocking. Is that what I pay for? So and then when you got guys like Brook, who I like Brook, I have to pay to watch him now. Joshua's in his first decent fight. I have to watch him. I have to pay. I have to watch a shitty stream.
Preach.
Come on, man. We talk about don't watch it and all this kind of stuff. The Sky Bill's high.
Yeah, what you got to say about that, Lewis?
Okay, see if more people watch the Sky. If more people watch the ring sides, watch the fucking. I know it's shit. Listen, I'm not gonna put lipstick on a pig. I know it's shit. I know the fucking weekly shows that Eddie Hearn puts on is shit. But I do think it's a catch-22 situation. If more people watched the fucking boxing on a week-in, week-out basis on the Sky, you'd have higher viewings, and then everything else would go up. The sponsorship would go up. The fucking money that Sky would be willing to plough into the thing would go up. Then you wouldn't need pay-per-view.
No, they've done pay-per-view because they've got greedy.
That as well, but I don't think that's not the be and everything of it.
This is.
No, there's reasons behind it.
Yeah, the reason is, here's the reason. The casual who isn't really interested in the sport will buy a pay-per-view because they think it's a big fight. Doesn't matter what it is, they just believe it's a big fight because it's pay-per-view. They will not watch the week-to-week Sky shows because they don't really like boxing. So Sky only get about 50, 60,000 people watching the boxing because we're in a niche sport. But when it's a big sold up event, casuals buy it because they think they're missing out on something, or for whatever reason they buy it for. So they know to get numbers, they're better off putting on pay-per-view because there's more chance of making money on it.
All right. Let's settle down, guys. Let's
you stay out of this, you.
Can we talk about the Golovkin Lemieux?
We will do, but I just want to say this. That's true. But
right, though, Shu. Does that not make sense?
It does make sense, but to me, you should be more fucking angry at the casual fan.
I hate the casual fan.
Why? Why would you be more angry at the casual fan? They don't know any better.
Their stupidity offends me.
They must not like boxing because they pay the money, and the last couple of pay-per-views I think have been actually good value for money, but they don't tune in after that. The next time they watch boxing is when they hear someone down the pub talk about it, or they see something on Sky Sports News, and then it's just like, oh, they talk to their workmate, and it's like, oh, you seen this guy? Like, I've got a 12-year-old nephew who doesn't really watch boxing. He's talking to me about Tyson Fury, Klitschko, and I'm like, aye, whatever fights you seen? Nothing. So that's just shows the fickleness of the casual fan. I mean, you love boxing so much for one fight, but then you just fucking, you basically put the prices up for everyone. You put the demand up, and the prices go up. It's economics. I don't blame Sky. It's a free market. Free market rules. The demand is up, the price goes up.
No, you're right. We should to be able to buy Sky pay-per-views. You should be able to answer like 10 questions on Willie Pep, and then you're allowed to buy it. And if you don't know the answers, you're not allowed to buy it.
I wouldn't even.
I like these rules.
They go out
not
of
allowed
business
to watch it either.
2 months.
And I'm just to finalise it, I'm not fucking defending Sky that much. I mean, but I'm not going to fucking live and die by what I'm saying. I just think it's fucking free market economics. All these guys are tuning in for one fight. They put it on pay-per-view.
Hey, Chu, is it macroeconomics or microeconomics?
It's free market.
We need Naota. We need confirmation.
All right, enough with the economics talk then. Yeah?
Yep. You wanted to talk about Golovkin Lemieux?
Yeah, did you guys watch the Road 2 special from HBO?
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
I watched it, man.
It's up on YouTube. I don't know if it's if the IP works in the UK, but yeah, what'd you think about it, Chu?
Did you see Golovkin do that thing with the basketball?
Yeah.
The fucking he was doing a push-up and then he fucking scored a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I think he could play in the NBA. I think he'd be good.
Oh, he's a beast. I mean, everything he does.
I loved how he talked about Willie Monroe. He said his punch is nothing. Oh, Willie Monroe, he's nothing. It was like the first time I've seen Golovkin shit on a former opponent in that way. You know, he's always so respectful, but he just pretty much said Willie Monroe isn't shit.
Yeah, but Willie Monroe's talked a lot of shit about him, like after the fight.
Oh, did he? What did he say?
Well, if you go to the LA Segback News, like
I try not to.
That's not news, True.
I'd rather smoke crack.
Or on Twitter.
So you'd rather be like a Broner fan? That's what you're saying, right?
No, I don't want to be that either. I don't want to be any of these things. I want out.
Just stop watching boxing.
I know, I've got to. It ruins my life.
Yeah, but my bad. What were you going to say, Chu?
Yeah, Monroe doesn't like him, and I don't think Triple G likes him. So
Well,
I think
just-
Monroe's issue was that Golovkin said they took it easy on him. And ever
He
since,
did, which is true.
and ever since Monroe's just been shitting on Golovkin every chance he can get.
Do you guys think Lemieux looks a little heavy?
I said the same thing. He's pudgy in the middle.
Yeah,
it looked
he's
like he was
fucking pudgy, man.
looks like he had a little post-title partying going on.
It's because his fat ass Armenian cousin or whatever is cooking him all that fucking meat. You got to slow down on that shit.
He might just know he's going to get slept anyway, so he don't give a shit.
Yeah. He seems like a cool dude, but I don't see anything that he can present stylistically to give Golovkin trouble.
I didn't know he was Armenian. I thought he was French.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like French Canadian.
Yeah, I think he's half French. Half Armenian and half, was it Persian, Iranian or something like that?
Lebanese.
Lebanese, right. There you go. So he's got a little bit of Kim Kardashian in him. So we'll see if that does him any good, but I doubt it would.
What else happened in this episode? How long was this episode?
It was short, Cam. It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah. 14
Yes.
minutes.
Okay.
It's way too short. I think this is HBO just pretty much saying, we know that this pay-per-view is probably going to do 200,000 buys at best. So let's just do a fucking Road 2 instead of a full 24/7. Which is crazy because the Ward Dawson, I don't know if you guys remember that fight. That fight had a full 30-minute segment. Whereas Golovkin Lemieux has not even 15 minutes. Like,
Lim, last week after the show, you and me were talking about the pay-per-view for this fight, and I said to you that, I think the figures, the pay-per-view buys are going to be very low.
yeah.
What does everyone else think on the panel? Leon, Chu, Ari, Kev, do you think it'll do decent numbers, or do you think it'll be quite weak?
No, I think you can skip Kev, Cam. Kev doesn't really care about these type of things.
That's true.
What do you guys think?
I don't care.
Okay, all right.
No. I will give my point of view why I don't care. Because whatever you say, you get attacked from either side because they're both maniacs.
Yeah, but we just want to know. We're just curious. We're just trying to gauge interest.
It'll do 400,000.
Okay.
300,000.
Ari?
He cares less than us. Look, he's gone.
What about you?
No,
Kev?
I was watching. I'm watching that Road to bullshit. But what'd you say? The
How many
sales? How much buys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, Golovkin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if it got over 300,000.
Yeah, I agree. Kev?
What about you, Kev?
I think it's around going to do like the way Canelo did in those two fights against like Angulo and them, like around like 330 and something like that. And I think if it does that, they'd be very happy with it. Because they ain't paying these guys too much, and they already sold like 20,000 tickets. So
Is that really true that they sold out, or have they done a Hearn and like given all the stop up?
last update was like 19,000 tickets sold. Brokers still have tickets for sale. It's not like there's no tickets to get, but
Right.
they filled it out.
I just I'm curious to see what happens to Golovkin's career after this Lemieux fight, because there's really no one left for him to fight. I mean, from what you guys have told me, it seems like DeGale is fighting at 175, right?
No, DeGale's 168.
So Butte's going back down to 68.
Yeah.
My fault.
So
my
the
fault.
belt.
I
And,
just didn't know Butte could make 168. So
And Ward's gone now, isn't he? Supposedly. That's a rumour.
yeah. So who does Golovkin fight? I mean, would DeGale ever fight Golovkin?
Yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr.
Nah.
He'll fight. DeGale would fight Golovkin.
Would Hearn let him fight Golovkin?
One of the problems is he's with Al Heyman now, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't.
Oh, right. He is with him.
Out.
My fault.
Gone, isn't it?
Gotcha.
So unfortunately for Triple G, there's no one else for him to fight, which will seems to please people in America, because you seem to. I don't know what it is, but you guys seem to hate him for some reason. I mean, half of you anyway.
No, you can't extrapolate from us, from like 5 fans, what America thinks about Triple G as a whole. I think people generally like Triple G, but all I'm saying is you can't really sustain that.
There's lots of hate out there for him.
There is, but you can't sustain that level of hype for that long if your level of opposition isn't good.
Yeah.
Leon, he's selling out. He's setting attendance records in places, man. He's obviously got fans in this country.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the wrong podcast, aren't I? I've got
Exactly. Yep. I think, and I know this is kind of this is a little bit off topic, but even with Canelo, I mean, people are touting Canelo to be like the next pay-per-view king, but I don't know if whether Golden Boy or whether his promoters have just done a terrible job in promoting him from a marketing standpoint, but I feel like no one really knows who Canelo is outside of the Mexican market, you know?
He doesn't. Is he really involved? Is he trying to put stuff out there?
He's not at all. But that's the thing. If I'm Golden Boy and I'm on his marketing team, I'm trying to get him out there as much as possible, right?
Yeah. Get him in English lessons straight away.
Exactly. I mean, the guy can't speak a fucking lick of English, and he's been trying to learn for supposedly like 3 or 4 years.
He did speak English in his post-fight interview against Trump.
I know.
I did this for my brother.
2 words. Yeah. And then, or against Mayweather, I was born ready. Like, come on, man. You're going to say 3 words?
You need him to be able to go on a chat show, right, and be able to hold his own.
Exactly. Like, go on a Letterman, right? Or not Letterman anymore, but go on a late-night talk show, right? And just get yourself out there.
It's true, though, Dan. Like, in the UK, apart from the hardcores, like, I wouldn't say any casual fans really know about Canelo.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the next guy, right? I mean, maybe this Cotto fight does it, but you know, even in terms of his apparel and his gear, stuff like that. Like, you know, I know we hate talking about the UFC, but the UFC just partnered up with Reebok, and their gear is, you know, you can find that shit at a market or like at a clothing store, at a retail store. And in terms of like boxers and stuff, like they're completely secluded from that type of market, you know.
I wouldn't buy that stuff in a car boot sale. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Hey, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's just the visibility, you know, is not there. So.
Well, Canelo has the Under Armour sponsorship, right?
I've seen him
in commercials, but that was like last year. I haven't seen him
in
anything recently.
I mean, you know me. I check that website every day for Canelo gear, and they don't have jack shit, you know. Like, they don't have anything. They don't update that with anything. And if Under Armour is like the second biggest sporting company here in America now, right? From an apparel standpoint?
I don't know. It's got to be. They were just trying to spend a lot of money on Kevin Durant, so they're obviously doing good.
Yep. But I don't know. That's a little off topic, but I'm just saying, again, maybe this is just little problems with the sport, but at least here in the States, you know, it just seems like boxing is always on the periphery. It's never the central topic. But I'm saying there's more opportunities for it to be more mainstream, right? And I know for a lot of people that isn't a positive, but I like when people talk about boxing, man. It makes me happy.
I've got to be honest with you. The problem is boxing seems like it's going to be this big forever, and it's always felt this big to me all the time I've been watching it. It only ever felt bigger when it was on mainstream, you know, terrestrial television, free TV. But that was back when there was no channels.
Yeah.
There's too much shit for people to be watching.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on. Just want to get your quick thoughts on Mr. Frankie Gavin. Is he ducking Mr. Sam Eggington with his foot injury? Ari?
He slips on a pizza.
I don't think he's ducking. I think their fight's getting pushed onto one of them upcoming pay-per-view cards.
To bolster it up a bit.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Which is hugely disappointing because this was a fight on paid on by our Sky bill that I was really looking forward to.
You know, I said the same thing earlier. You know, apparently. And you know the worst thing is about what Chu said. This guy doesn't even have Sky. He's streaming everything anyway, so he's not really helping the case about talking about people don't watch ringside. People don't. Chu, you're streaming everything yourself.
Yeah, no, so I don't complain about pay-per-view though.
A good point.
But you're allowed to complain if you're paying for this shit, or you're paying for a Sky.
If I'm paying for Sky TV and I'm expecting good sports other than football,
You're not paying for it. You're paying for it.
no, I help. I help. I pay rent.
Well, fair enough. Well, listen, you can complain all about it, but I mean, what's it going to do?
Make you feel better.
I see more pay-per-views in the future.
I know, and that's why I can't. I'm near the end.
Yo, if rap battles are pay-per-view, then everything's gonna become pay-per-view.
But why is it boxing and wrestling? Like, why is boxing always one? We always get hit with a pay-per-view. No other sport gets hit with this shit, do they?
Yeah, you don't have to pay extra to watch the Champions League final.
We don't have to pay extra to watch fucking snooker and shit, and then we're about as big as that sport, aren't we? So I mean, imagine that, 50 quid to watch the snooker world championship. Fucking devastated, wouldn't you?
But that's the thing. These snooker, they get advertisements in some other way, like TV ads. You can put that in prime time.
Yeah, it's not a clean.
You know, boxing's.
When do you ever see snooker advertised? What are you talking about, True?
Easier to attract sponsors to a snooker player.
Snooker's on BBC One. There's no advertisements.
No, I think you're talking about getting sponsors and getting
sponsorship. It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
exactly.
Boxing gets sponsors as well. I don't see no massive sponsors with snooker.
Name me
with the low end.
Name me three. Okay, I'll name you three snooker sponsors. You name me three boxing sponsors.
Rainham Steel.
Go on. Name three then.
Benson and Hedges.
Did you quickly get a snooker? Did you quickly get a Sullivan video up and you're looking at the little advertisements in the corner?
You're salty tonight. Is it because you said I couldn't pick a fight last week?
You were taking long there. I thought you were trying to find something.
I couldn't pick a fight. If I can help me with my pick last
week.
Come
on, everyone saw it. You were pausing as if you were quickly trying to find the right video or something.
Pause. No pauses. I ask you as a question.
Go on.
No, I asked for three. I've got one. Rainham Steel.
Tecate, Corona.
That's American. Give me British.
Yeah,
give me British.
StubHub.co.uk.
What's that?
StubHub.co.uk.
Maxi Muscle.
Is that Maxi Muscle? No, that's IFL TV.
No, it's on Sky as well. They've been doing Sky advertisements recently as well. Let's try you. I already gave you three.
Done?
What do you mean?
That's American.
So StubHub.
That's American.
Maxi Muscle.
Maxi Muscle's IFL.
I just told you they do Sky advertisements, but you don't watch Sky shows, it seems, so you wouldn't know that.
All right, we'll take that out. We'll put Box Fit in instead.
Fucking hell.
Go on, Chew. You got to give us three now. All that time now, you've been looking at fucking snooker videos on YouTube, haven't you?
Betfred. Coral.
Oh, come on. Just don't give us three betting ones, man. Come on. Do better than that, Chew.
Well, listen. See with snooker, they used to be tobacco. That's all it used to be. It was just tobacco, then they banned that. So now it's just gambling.
Yeah, but we could say the same for like Bet888. They do boxing as well.
Yeah, and don't Sky have that? What's that one called? That one I've never even seen. Daffer Bet or some crap. Don't they sometimes have them? And I'm sure they get Paddy Power sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Come on, Chew. That was a ridiculous statement you said. Just admit it.
What?
No,
what was it ridiculous statement? What was the statement?
Advertisements. You see them all over they got them little boards now on the corners and the ropes and that. What are you talking about?
But I bet it's easier to get a sponsorship for snooker than it is for boxing.
Did he go fucking tell him, Leon?
It's an easier sell to go into a brand and sell them a snooker player than it is to sell them a boxer.
Exactly. What are you going to say to the fucking sponsorship guys? You're going to say, listen, my sport, we fucking fight to the death.
Exactly.
The other sport, oh, this guy fucking pots multicoloured balls.
Yo, let's move on because Danny Yankee in the chat saying Golden Boy Snooker and BRD Hayes saying what the hell is this black hole we're in? So yeah,
but he's taken the name of David Hayes. They can fuck off and die, can't he?
That's a bit harsh.
I know I've gone too far there.
Take that back.
I apologise.
Yeah, okay.
Why does he have to take that back?
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? You can fuck off and die. That is a bit harsh.
Hey, man.
Harsh, yeah.
Who cares about David Hay? He's just a
Another guy in
he's
the
just a Twitter
chat.
talker.
Yeah, but what if his name's like Mr. Hay, like, and he just shares his name with David Hay?
And you know, again, fuck Hay, because Vlad pulls out and Hay feels he's brave enough to get on Twitter chatting shit, basically admitting that he ducked Fury on purpose.
And let me jump in. Mr. BRD Hay has responded saying that's his last name, and
I saw that. I feel really bad.
and he hates David Hay.
Good. Okay.
Self-loathing.
You feel bad now, don't you, Leon and
I
Ari?
feel really bad. Sorry. I've gone too far.
Sorry, what you're saying? So he's admitted on YouTube that he feigned the injury for the Fury fight.
He never enough did. Laughing at Fury, saying, "Oh look, every time he's about to get a big fight, they pull out on him and stuff like that." Because he didn't want to give. He said, I remember I've heard him say in an interview he was happy he pulled out because he didn't want Fury to get the big payday. You know.
He's a little bitch. Anyway.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to come back as Sky. He doesn't want to come back as boxing either. It's not a coincidence. Every time he says I'm coming back is when Joshua's got a fight, because he knows people are watching. So he wants his name around it, so that they can make up a Joshua fight that will never happen. They'll mostly again get us thinking the pay-per-view is going to happen. He'll pull out 2 weeks before. Oh, my shoulder's gone again. I have to retire. That's it.
Okay, let's move on. Upcoming schedule. Tuesday night, we got toe-to-toe Tuesdays again on Fox Sports 1. Jackson versus Getty and Sammy Vasquez. Not Sammy Vasquez. Miguel Vasquez versus Argenis Mendes. And then on... Is it Friday? Saturday? Friday we got the UK card in Manchester, my hometown. Terry Flanagan versus Diego Magdaleno, and Liam Smith versus John Thompson for the vacant WBO 154 title.
Actually, it's on Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah, that's on Saturday. In the States on Saturday we got a small card in Lowell, Massachusetts. Danny O'Connor versus Gabriel Bracero. I think that's a rematch. Shout out to Nesmatic. I think he might be going to that because it's near where he lives. Orban Narvaez in Argentina versus Diego Lerano. That's in the Prediction League. Jorge Linares versus Ivan Cano. That's in the Prediction League. That's in Venezuela. That's about it, really. Back to that Manchester card. Probably the best card of the weekend. That's quite a statement for a Frank Warren card these days.
It's a bigger statement than that. This might be the best British card of the year.
It would have been better if Lee and Saunders were still on it, but...
Yeah. Maybe
Without pain.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, let's get into that card. What do you guys think? Let's start off with the Flanagan Magdaleno. Any quick thoughts?
Tough fight. Very tough fight. I'm surprised he's come over for it. But...
Is this mandatory?
Yeah.
It must be, because that's quite a hard fight.
Yeah. I don't know who to pick in that fight, if I'm honest.
Didn't Magdaleno get beat off a man?
No,
I think this is another one.
This is a different
one's
Magdaleno.
undefeated.
Yeah.
Another Magdaleno.
No, he's not undefeated. Sorry, he lost a split versus Roman Martinez.
Yeah, and that was at a weight below as well. So they've moved up a weight since.
Yeah, this is the Magdaleno who made Gonzalez quit.
Again.
Yeah, again. You know, Gonzalez, who was beating up your boy Ricky Burns for 6 rounds. And then I think Hearn paid him off or something.
Hearn transferred some money into his family bank account.
Oh, that guy. That beast. No, it must be a good fighter. Let's be honest, making Gonzalez quit is quite easy though.
That's true.
You know, Ricky Burns just had to kind of stare at him. That was it. I don't know anything about Flanagan. I don't know anything about Magdaleno, so I'm just going to put myself on mute for a minute.
No worries. I'm like Leonard. This is a close fight. It's a close. It's a hard first defense for Flanagan. He's in his hometown, obviously. He's undefeated, but I've watched Magdaleno twice, I think, and I actually like him, and he's another guy that digs to the body quite well. And I think that's the shot he stopped Gonzalez with as well, body shot. So I can see Mr. Warren making this a decent sized ring, so Flanagan, because he can fight off the back foot, Flanagan, so a decent size ring would make it much better for him. I don't know. I'm favouring Flanagan because he's the hometown fighter, my Manchester fighter. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Flanagan just to back the flag.
I think it's definitely a tough fight though. Undercard Liam Smith, man. John Thompson, I've seen him in the Boxino tournament this year on ESPN. He was on the 154. Came through quite well. I think he was a late replacement as well in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, he was.
And then got to the final. Most people were picking Brandon Adams because he was a bit of a beast. And he stopped him in two, man. And he's not really got that many knockouts. I think he's got 17 wins and 6 knockouts. And I was quite surprised that he stopped Brandon Adams. Because I was kind of high on Brandon Adams. I thought he was a decent boxer.
I think that says more about Brandon Adams than it does about this guy.
That's a good point. But yeah, I don't know. I favour Liam Smith, but like I'm saying, if the rings...
telling you now.
Go on.
If he can't beat this guy is a domestic level fighter who's never fought a 12-round fight, who won a glorified prize fighter. If you can't beat this bum, what's the point?
Bum's a bit harsh now. Bum's a bit harsh, bro.
What has he done more than anyone else has just won a little prize fighter competition?
No, it's a fair point.
It's a glorified prize fighter. I'm not. What are we meant to? We can't be impressed by this. I mean, how has he got a world title fight? He's never fought a 12-round fight before.
WBO.
It's a joke, man.
It's the Warren belt.
Yeah. I mean, this guy should not be in the ring.
I think ultimately, this Thompson guy he's like a domestic American fighter.
Yeah.
But I think Liam Smith is a domestic European fighter. And even though that we say that the kind of balance has switched, the pendulum has swung over to Europe, it's not quite yet. I still think the average American fighter is still a little bit better. I wouldn't be surprised if this Thompson guy wins. This is like a step-up fight for this Liam Smith.
No,
you never know, he could get fucking exposed.
I think it's a step-up fight for both of them, but I think Smith is probably more experienced. But having said that,
a lot more experienced.
Yeah, he's done 12 rounds multiple times. He's done 10 rounds before. So yeah, I'm favouring Liam Smith, man. Fuck it.
It would be silly not to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick the other guy.
You've got Liam Smith by robbery.
The only worry is, again, this Thompson guy, he had a good knockout against Adams, but he's never really showed that kind of power before, I don't guess. I haven't seen him other than that, but Liam Smith has never really showed a dodgy chin, even though, his genes would make you think he did. But, so I have to go with Smith.
So,
unfortunately.
So Sir Joe Gallagher's going to have finally a world champion in his midst?
I guess so, but at least it's not a Sky champion that, I don't really think Joe fucks with Warren that much. I don't think he'll be there larding up too much.
Hearn's going to be gutted, man. He got all 3 of the other brothers. But Liam Smith, who's with Warren, is going to get the belt.
Stayed loyal.
It's actually weird he stayed loyal, because Paul Smith lost the court case to Warren. He had to pay him I think it was $50,000 because he had to give him a cut from all his fights he's had since he left Warren or something like that.
Well, it's a breach of contract, wasn't it?
Yeah, breach of contract. Yeah, that's the thing about Warren. He might get glassed a lot, but he
gets you in the end.
He'll glass you in the courtroom.
Definitely.
One's like they say the only thing that could survive a nuclear winter is a cockroach. And that is what Frank Warren is. He's a cockroach. You know, I know if the bombs start falling down, you'll have a fucking shelter right there, just ready to survive that stuff.
Chew, man. Expect a letter from Frank Warren's fucking solicitor tomorrow.
No, I need to have a little rant about this because I was reading on boxing scene that Frank Warren wants Ovill McKenzie to get a rematch, and I'm like, what about that Zabeda guy who fucking Flanagan beat?
Yeah, but he's still injured, isn't it?
Is he? Is it? That was going to be my next question because I don't know. Is he going to get a rematch? Because I've heard nothing.
Supposedly he's going to be next.
He should. Okay, if he's a fucking decent human being, give that guy a rematch because that was fucking the whole carry on after the fight. Flanagan celebrating and shit.
Yeah.
You know, it left a bad taste in my stomach.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but obviously he couldn't give him an instant rematch because he's still injured, isn't it? So that's why.
Anyway, we've seen plenty of Frank Warren cards in the past where fighters have got fucking robbed. Frank Warren says, "Oh, couldn't give him a rematch." They don't. So fucking, he's a hypocrite. First of all, so he needs to give that guy a rematch. And how fucking these Frank Warren fighters keep getting these belts handed to them. You know, they get fucking world title shots and they haven't beat anybody. And I know I'm a hypocrite because my boy Ricky Burns somehow got a WBO belt. Well, a title shot against Rocky Martinez. You know, he hadn't beat anybody. He won that belt. But it's just, the rankings are a joke. Who did these guys beat to get their shot? Who did Flanagan beat to get his shot? Who did Liam Smith beat to get his shot? I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
It's like they do the minimal enough to get into the top 15 and then somehow wrangle themselves a title shot. Because I agree that they've not really fought anyone to be granted a title shot, but it just shows how weak belts are these days and how weak the sanctioning bodies are.
And I'm not saying these guys are bad fighters, Cam. You know, they could end up being great fighters, but you know, if you want to, you know, boxing fans know what's going on, and you know, you're kind of, it's held against you if you get something handed to you. You know what I mean? Fucking look at Leo Santa Cruz. You know, his career, most of it has been handed to him, and you'll never get in the kind of good graces of the boxing fan because his fucking whole career is built on nothing. It's tough to get that back, that good grace.
Who is this?
I'm talking about Leo Santa Cruz, and I'm talking about British fighters getting world title shots without having beat anybody. I'm just saying
Would Lee Selby fall into that category?
Oh, but you were picking Gradovich.
No, I wasn't actually.
Yes, you was.
I wasn't.
You should say that Selby's a bum.
I said Gradovich was a bum, actually.
No, you said Selby was a bum as well. You've been saying Selby was a
You
bum
said
for like 3 years.
You definitely said Selby was a bum.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I said Gradovich was a bigger bum.
No, you didn't. Don't try it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
No,
What? I mean, you seem.
No, I remember you saying they were both bums.
Yeah, to me, Lee Selby would also fall into that category, although Lee Selby, you know, he beat the fuck out of Gradovich, so you can't say he's not a world champion. You can't say he's not world class. So,
Well, Gradovich is a bum.
I agree with you there.
Then how can you? Okay, look, honestly,
but he was a world champion. That was his 4th defense.
But we were just saying how world titles don't mean shit.
Who did Selby beat to get a world title shot?
Oh, that guy that fucking Joe Bruntner. I mean, that's his best name on his resume. Up until that point.
Maybe Selby becomes the top 126 pounder, but I think it still falls under that category. He didn't beat anybody to get that title shot.
I mean,
and who did Gradovich just to prove? I think our collective point in terms of how weak belts are. Who did Gradovich to get his world title shot?
I can't even remember. I've not got there. I could box wreck it, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Billy Dib.
That's it, Billy Dib. Billy Dib's shit as well.
He beat
That's just a weak division.
Yeah. He beat Billy Dib for the title, but I don't know who he beat to get the title shot. Who cares, to be honest?
So,
He beat Mauricio Javier Munoz. He was 26-3.
And Cam, you know, I picked Selby against Gradovich, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You're right. You kind of shitted on Selby a bit, but you shitted more on Gradovich.
Yeah. And honestly, most of the shit talking I do about Selby is just from trying to rile up your feathers. Because honestly, I don't know much about Selby. I've seen like 2 fights of his, so I can't judge whether he's a good fighter or not. But it seems to me that he's gotten a lot better than he used to. I only wonder if he can beat a guy like Loma.
Are you going to be watching Selby versus Montiel in 10 days' time?
Nah, that's a good fight. Montiel isn't Montiel a career 118 fighter?
yep.
I mean, come on, man. Selby's gonna tower over that guy. It's a mismatch.
I wish.
And honestly, now, like in the past, I used to shit on like Selby. I used to shit on the fighter himself because of these mismatches. But now I think it's kind of clear that it's not the fighters necessarily. It's always the promoters. So because of that, I'm more reluctant to shit on a guy like Selby as I once was, because it's probably not his fault that he's fighting a guy like Montiel.
It's weird though. The fight's on a Wednesday in Arizona, Glendale, and Devin Alexander versus Aaron Martinez is the headline.
That's beyond retarded to me.
I don't
stupid.
understand like PBC's placement of fights. You know, they've done some good ones, but they've also done some terrible ones. It's like, why is that in Arizona and why is it on a Wednesday?
Like, what are the good ones? Was it Deontay in Alabama, Thurman in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, those are 2. Okay, but more head scratching to me is DeGale in Boston. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Broner versus Porter in Vegas. I mean, Vegas is a decent venue, but if both of those guys are from Cleveland, why wouldn't you just do it in Cleveland?
The Battle of Cleveland in Vegas.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Selby got a shitload of money to go over to Heyman, but it must suck for you guys to know that he's in that dungeon now, the Heyman dungeon.
I think it's stupid. Like, he's finally got some heat over here. Now you're going over on a Wednesday. You know, that fight's going to be in the early hours of the morning. Like, it's going to get shit figures in the UK.
Why are you hating on the Swagger, man?
I'm not hating on him. I'm just hating on his decisions.
Nah, I mean, I'm trolling. I agree with you. I think you could say the same about the Gale as soon as you start getting a bit of heat, as you say. You know, he jumped ship. Now he's fighting in half-empty arenas in America. You know, you get what you...
Or in a full arena in Canada. But continue, Chief.
You think that's going to sell out, do you?
Butte sells out every time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but why would that? Why is the fight taking place in Canada though?
Because he's fighting Butte.
I understand that, but he's the A side. He should be the A side, right?
Yes. Go on.
And why is he staying away from home territory?
I guess Butte's really the A side. Butte's probably still the bigger name and bigger draw.
No. Maybe he isn't. Maybe DeGale's creeping up there. But all I'm saying is, why would you relinquish that position as an A side?
Yeah, if you were DeGale, you shouldn't give in.
Exactly. Why would you cave into that?
Money. I guess he's getting a bigger check to travel.
That's the problem. He's not a big ticket seller, is he? Over here.
Who, DeGale?
Yeah.
But then why not try to make him into one, right? Why not try to build him up as one?
Well, he's chosen to go with Heyman, so he's obviously realised that that's a long-term plan. Look, for short-term money.
I know he kind of looks like Alicia Keys' little brother, but it doesn't matter. You know, if you have the skills to pay the bills, then you should try to make your name in your home ground, like a Kell Brook, for example. I mean, but who knows what Kell Brook is going to do because I think Kell Brook is going to jump ship to Al Heyman too.
Oh, he will do, I think.
So.
Yeah, but James DeGale, you could have better domestic fights in the UK than he would get in, you know, a fight against the Ghost of Butte.
Like,
you know,
I don't understand that fight. Why the fuck is he fighting Butte?
I don't know.
Because it's boxing.
Yep.
Is it easy money? Is that all? It's easy money?
former world champion with it's a decent name to have, I guess. And it's easy money, yeah.
Booty by name, booty by nature.
Yeah, but not to sound disrespectful, like Shawnee and his team were looking at Bute. That's not somebody DeGale should be fighting.
But did Shawnee get it?
Well, he didn't want to go. They said Bute was going to go back down to 68. So the fight was going to be off. Wasn't going to happen.
Look, the only name that DeGale should be fighting at 168 is Ward, right? If it's not Ward, then who else does Bute have to fight at 168? He beat the next best guy already in Durrell. That just shows you how weak that division is.
Yep, I agree. But I don't. That's a lose-lose situation for DeGale. I mean, he's got to knock Booty out if he wants any kind of respect.
Yeah, he does, because Froch will be straight out in the media shitting on it if he doesn't.
Froch probably be ringside analyst.
Eating some
Belvita.
Yeah, Belvita bum.
How's Rachel doing, by the way? Is she good? How's her health?
Yeah, she had another child, so.
Jesus, to bits.
That vagina is not going to be tight anymore.
Nah, they get it sewed up after birth. It gets tighter.
Oh, really?
So I'm told.
How long ago was this child born again?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Family of snakes.
Let's back away from this.
Yeah, step away. All right, guys. Anything else, or shall we get some final thoughts?
There's some guy in the chat, Daddy Yankee, just said sticker. I should just read the title of the show, man. Sticker.
What did Cam just say?
He said snooker.
Jimmy Snooker?
We
what
went
the
down.
fuck are we talking about, man?
We went down a snooker black hole.
We did.
Jimmy Superfly Snooker?
Oh.
Chew's going crazy. Kev, you got any final thoughts for us?
Nah.
Ari, any final thoughts? Ari's just shot. Dan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, decent week of boxing, I guess, right? I thought the show was pretty good. And who's fighting this week? If I can get my picks in, I know all the listeners are pretty keen on getting my professional input, so I'd love to share my advice if that's possible.
Nah, it's okay. I don't think they want it.
All right, cool.
Right, thanks, Liv. Leon, any final thoughts?
Cam just doesn't know who's fighting next week.
There's no one fighting. Well,
I went through the list before. You obviously wasn't listening.
Yeah, you're right.
Leon?
me?
Yep, any final thoughts?
Yeah, if you've got a favourite fighter out there, just what I'd do is I'd tweet Chemo and just check he's not a big fan or he's on any kind of hype train or he's picking him for any fights, because that is a recipe for your favourite fighter to lose again and then become soulless. So just warning you, check with Chemo, because your fighter could be on the line.
Yeah, ask him to favourite your fighter's opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Just check with them, because they could be gone in 6 months. They could be over.
All right, thank you, Leon.
So,
Chew, any final thoughts?
Aye. Respect to Lim for coming on the show and eating his crow. Ari disappeared the first hour. Thought we can I sneak in there? Can I avoid his crow? Talk about. Notice that Ari's not talked about that fight. He kind of just sneaked in there, hoping to avoid it.
Since when have I ever given a fuck about Matthysse?
Oh man, you were fucking telling me last week. When has Chew ever picked one right? when has Chew ever picked one right?
Good on you, you got it right, but guess what? I still got your money, mate, and you should have put your money where your mouth is.
should have done.
I should have done that. You're right.
Should have done.
You're right. You're right. I should have done. Hey, who won that fight though?
I haven't even fully seen the fight.
Well,
That's
has
why I
nothing
didn't
to do
talk
with
about it.
let me tell you what happened. Lucas got schooled.
I don't care. I don't fuck with Lucas.
I can't be bothered.
I picked Provodnikov.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah, Dan got it right.
I got 12 shows to watch right now,
You're right.
consecutively.
Yep. Keep going, Dan. I was out all weekend. I didn't get. I only caught like the last couple rounds of Broner, and even that I was glossed.
I went to the club.
Oh my god.
I was at the club 2 days in a row.
You know what? This brings up. Sometimes I lie about watching fights. You might notice, but mine is like a positive lie.
No, you.
Mine is like a positive lie. Like I'm trying to help the sport. I'm trying. My love of boxing means I fucking lie. I watched the fight. I don't really. Even the fights I watch sometimes I don't really watch. I just kind of.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, the point I'm saying is there's a boxing hipster. The boxing hipster, and it's not just Daddy. There's fucking loads of them. A boxing hipster says, sometimes my life is too busy. My life is too busy to watch the boxing. You know, I'm fucking clubbing. I'm with a girlfriend. I've got friends and shit. I've got a job.
I got money.
I've got money. My life is too great at the moment to watch boxing. And I'm like,
Hey,
you're patting yourself on the back at the same time as showing.
Cam.
Tell him, Chew. Tell him.
Cam.
Yeah.
Tell him, Chew. Keep going.
Cam, have you ended the
Keep
show
going,
yet?
Chew.
Keep going, Chew. Keep going.
Chew.
And I
Roach.
just think that should stop. No more
Burn.
boxing hipsters.
Exactly, Chew. You're a martyr of the sport. You know that? You're the savior of the sport. You're like Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. Good on you.
Or Tyson Fury dressed as Batman. Alright guys, thanks to everyone on the show today. Thanks to all the people in the chat. Thanks to the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
Oh, dude, man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the #1 flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically burning you, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the show, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos a Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
I get home and she's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
It feels great. Did we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass. Just to play devil's advocate.
Do you want 1 portion of crow or 2 portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe side. But you won't rush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you?
He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weighed for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.